Hey everyone, we're at the neighborhood council for Central Hollywood. It's nice. This time they are providing pizzas. I think I will grab a slice. Why not? But it should start any minute. I probably popped on a little bit too early. But I said this time I'm going to do it. Last time I did it on TikTok. Today I'm going to try it on YouTube and see how that goes and give you guys a chance, to see these meetings. And I'll probably just try to go back and forth every other month or something. Because I really believe in this, the local government. So grab a water. Sorry, guys. Slow White is here. Hey, Kara. White guy's going to be late today, so he's going to meet me here. But I don't see anyone else here. It was weird. Somebody, I guess, saw me coming on the street. They're like, hey, Audit. I don't know who it was. So that's sweet. It's kind of scary. I'm not used to that. But not scary. I don't mean scary. It's just weird. I'm not used to that. It's all new to me. But, hey, No Name D. Yeah, that's what I figure I'll do, because I've been getting a lot of people asking me to come here. Thanks, guys. How are y'all doing? And so, I've always been strictly TikTok, but I had such a good time the other day the other week doing YouTube. So I'm like, you know what? Let me come here too. Oh, good. I'm glad. Oh, good. There might be people calling in. You know me. I keep it civil. I just want to be, so if you guys, I'm going to try to watch the stream while I'm talking. It's kind of hard. But if you guys are so good at giving, hey, look who we got. Look who we got. I decided to come in person. Oh, yeah. And get dinner, too, man. Can't go. The legends. Huh? Probably. Yeah. Yeah, because it's happy. It's going to happen. It's coming. I came for the dinner. A bunch of asking, neighborhood purpose grants. Nothing real good. But it's okay. Our favorite officer's here, so he's going to. I want to. Hey guys. Yep, everyone's saying hi. Yep, here's the legends. The legend, OG legends. Huh. Yeah, this is Streets' council. Right. Huh? Yeah, but he's so goofy. He's so goofy. Yeah, he's so goofy. I mean, so Streets, so goofy. It's just ridiculous. He was so rude and he doesn't know what's going on. Yeah, he's horrible. I want to see you on the council. He is? I never would have guessed that, would you? Yeah, it was bad, but maybe we'll see a different side today. He's a what? Oh, really? Oh, okay. Okay, well, I'll give second chances, We'll see. Okay, well, that's good. Well, see, everyone knows you. But see, normally, the neighborhood council is just regular people. They're just because they're volunteers, and no one gets paid for this, It's all volunteer. So usually they are. Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, because I'm trying to get them in line because they were out of control. Wi- Oh, good. Oh, good. Okay. Dang. Yes. Oh, okay. And that's Graham's. Like the Metro is Graham, Captain Graham's little domain. But Habibi means sweetheart. So, but he's not. Habibi means sweetheart in Arabic, but he's not a sweetheart. Oh yeah. Well, the fire department's here already. Is that the? Oh no, that's not. Oh no, that's 911. Okay. Yeah, it's Oh, see, they like they want to watch me so they can get the best view of you guys. And get your free pizza. I'm starved. I come hungry. They do have, I think, a couple of at least one or two. Yeah, if you could say you're a stakeholder. Technically, you could for like it's your local one, but actually you could too because you stream here, so technically you work here, right? Technically, if you're here working, then you work here, so technically you're a stakeholder. No, you can work. You have to work, live, or be part of an organization. Join Scientology. Join Scientology. Yeah, yeah. There you go. But if you get on this, you can't say anything about you. You have to recuse yourself for anything Scientology. All right. Hi guys, good to see you too. Oh, okay. Brandon James wants Jess to do a spin for us. Yeah, yeah. I think she's passing. No meows either, right? We're not gonna meow. Are we gonna meow? A little bit. Oh yeah. Oh, yeah, he feels it. He knows. He knows it's coming because he knows I'm here. He knows, well, especially him. Yeah. Hi guys, good to see you too. Well, they're the community ones. Well, they're the ones that have to build a relationship with the community, so they got to go to all the businesses and well, they do go. No, they do the 4118 stuff too. But the senior leads, they're like, yeah, they're not regular patrol. They do supposedly building community relations, supposedly. Public comment. I'm going to basically just remind that, like, I want to start introducing them to the fact that, like, you know how Hollywood is kind of crumbling with all these scandals. You know what I mean? That you can like people think that oh, it's celebrities, it's Tom Cruise, it's John Travolta. How bad can it be? Well, how bad is all these scandals coming out where you think okay, maybe those guys aren't doing the biggest crimes, but they're still involved, and like it's like a complicity, and this stuff's getting exposed, and what's being done to these kids in Scientology is going to be exposed. I'm going to be here every month to make sure it's exposed. I think for White, I want to definitely deal with the CPAP crap. Because like once was it Saturday in North Hollywood, they had like etching the catalytic converters, and like yeah, but it was at the Scientology parking lot, And they said, and so I stopped the detective. He goes, "Oh well, it's just located here, but we have no affiliation with them." I'm like, "Really? They're on your CPAB. The president of that Scientology is on your CPAB, and so how did they know you needed the property? You know what I mean? Like, how did they know?" You know, and so then, and he says, "Yeah, well," he said, "a lot of people are complaining. We're complaining all day about it." I'm like, "Yeah, because they're listening to us. You know, people are getting aware, right?" I watched. Right. Right. Nothing that's well. I think they charge it now, but no religion. Right? No, isn't there supposed to be separation of church and state? Like, oh, see, that's it. That's why. See, that's why. That's what they do. I know. It's not, right. Yes. Wow. Finally, I wanted to go so bad. I had another meeting. Yes, I saw that.
Just gonna remind you guys, we haven't had any pizza yet. There's some pizza right over here.
Thank you.
Go to and one.
Yeah, grab some dinner for me. Right. See the pals. Yes. Oh, that's what that was about? That is relevant. Wow.
Hi, everybody.
So I didn't know that was going on.
We're about to get started. We're just getting our Zoom
Okay, guys.
online.
Hope I'm not munching too long. No, Micah's not here yet. He had to work. He's going to meet me.
Yeah, maybe put it down like a little higher. There we go. This is for our virtual friends. These are hybrid meetings, but we always love you in person. Thank you.
And they used to be called managing friends.
Oh.
We're in the new age now, we're virtual.
I think they're still measuring first.
Sorry, guys. I hope I'm not munching too. I'm starving. I'm glad they have food.
Okay, it's the best I got, the rest we need to scoot in a little bit more.
So if you go to attend
Perfect. Okay. Well, all right. So. If anyone wants to see the agenda, you can go to chc.org, and it will be the last event item, board meeting, and it'll also be up here shortly. So reference any of the MPGs or anything that we will be discussing, like minutes or the MERs, which is our monthly expenditures reports. You can see that in supporting documents, which will be at the top. Oh, did you? Okay. So, good? Are you ready for the minutes? Okay. All right, it is 6:14. We are starting the meeting. Thank you. This will be recorded. So will you be recording this record?
Yeah.
Okay. Wonderful. Okay, we'll start with the roll call. I am present. Daniel Perez.
Present.
Charles is absent. Guy. Present. Shawnee. Here. Sunshine.
In the house.
Tamara. Daniel. Crystal. Present. Awesome. Good point. Can't get anything done without quorum. So we like to start our meetings with government representatives that are in attendance, and then we will see who is online. So, we have, is that fire department? No. Okay, we have police, we have, our NEA, and we have, Bricks and Boards office, right? And so, that all we have to do is Savannah has to run. Okay, who wants to go first? You want to? Okay, no, okay. Who wants to go first? You,
Let this can go down.
Josh, you wanna go, or Erica? Yeah, let's do that, please. So Josh, he's with Assemblymember, Rick Support.
Well, good evening, everyone. It's so good to see you. It's good to see you all again. My name is Joshua Moore. I'm the field representative for Central Hollywood for Assemblymember Rick Support, Assembly District 51. And first, I'd like to begin by wishing all observant members of the community for celebrating Passover today, and of course, wishing everyone a happy birthday. So it's been a while since I was last back, but we've been pretty busy over in the Assemblymember's office. He's almost finalized introducing all bills in his bill package for this year, so I'll just run through some of the key ones that he's really proud about. And of course, the first packet of bills comes around the issue of homelessness and housing, which is one of the key priorities that he ran on. The first piece of legislation, this is the second year of this bill that he's been working it through the legislature. He takes the approach, some members of BIRD takes the approach that keeping folks housed is the best long-term strategy rather than, in allowing folks to stay housed as often as possible and prevent homelessness. And so this bill would increase housing security by providing rent subsidies to low-income former foster youth, older adults, folks with disabilities, people experiencing unemployment or homelessness, and recently incarcerated individuals without regard to an individual's immigration status. The second bill that he has introduced recently is actually co-sponsored by LA Mayor Karen Bass, and it deals with the issue of RVs. So what this new bill would do is streamline LA's ability to lease property from Caltrans at a reduced rate to store RVs, while the folks who were living in those RVs receive services to get into more permanent, stable housing. He also introduced legislation, and I know the conversation in Central Hollywood about the importance of boarding care facilities and their reduction that we've been seeing happening all over the state. The Assemblymember firmly believes that growing and maintaining boarding care facilities is key for addressing the issue of homelessness as well. And we also recently discovered at a recent site visit of a boarding care home actually across our district office, that residents of boarding care facilities don't qualify for CalFresh either, simply for living there. So what this bill would he's introduced would require that the California Department of Social Services collects and publicly reports comprehensive data, including the number of facilities serving individuals with serious mental illness or who are receiving public benefits, the number of residents in these facilities who have been diagnosed with serious mental illness, and the number of beds these facilities hold, and more, so that we get a more comprehensive look at how we can save and expand and make sure that folks are getting access to the benefits that they need. And then the last bill that deals with housing and homelessness that I wanted to bring up to folks' attention is one that empowers youth who are living in foster care situations as they're transitioning into adulthood to build up the best financial safety net that they could. And so what this bill would clarify in state law is that young adults have the ability to accumulate cash savings while they're living in foster care. As everybody also knows, the Assemblymember is the chair of the new Select Committee on Retail Theft. The bipartisan committee has finally introduced their full, complete, omnibus package of various pieces of legislation, including the Assemblymember. The Assemblymember's specific bill, Assembly Bill 2943, is co-sponsored with the Speaker of the Assembly. This is sort of a nod from state government in that they are really pushing forward to addressing the problems of organized retail theft and retail crime that retailers and customers have all been experiencing. We know our area is one of the hardest hit in the state of California. So that is the bill that he has introduced. Some key provisions there is it clarifies the intent standard for aggregating charges to reach grand theft. expands the tools for law enforcement to arrest and retain custody of those engaging in retail crime repeatedly, and helps get at the root cause of theft by expanding the use of diversion and rehabilitative programs with the possibility of early discharge. There was one bill I wanted to also talk about regarding LGBTQ+ and civil rights and healthcare, which is also a very big priority of the Assembly member, and that is, as we see what's happening nationwide over restricting access to healthcare for transgender folks across the country, what this legislation 2442 would do is ensure that licensure applications for providers of gender-affirming care are prioritized so as to reinforce a robust network of providers and timely access for not only patients in California who are seeking gender-affirming care, but folks in nearby states or other parts of the country who are also coming to California to seek this life-saving care. And then on the issue of gun safety that we're proud of introducing is this bill would so California leads the country in when it comes to gun violence restraining orders. And so what this bill would do is when the civil court is determining whether to apply a gun violence restraining order, we're including provisions for them to consider a broader set of risk factors. And those risk factors include threats of violence made against individuals or groups protected by California's hate crimes laws, and threats of violence to advance political objectives. And the last piece of legislation that I wanted to bring to your attention as part of this package is a bill that streamlines the entry to the in-home supportive services workforce. And so what it would do is it'll alleviate the financial burden on these IHSS providers by shifting the responsibility of covering costs associated with criminal background checks from the individual providers to the DOJ, because we know that this oftentimes can disproportionately affect low-income applicants and other folks like that. So those are just a few of the pieces of legislation. Of course, our full package will be made available online, but I wanted to give you sort of an insight into what the Assembly members' priorities are this year, and see if you have any questions.
That was great. That was so informative.
I have a question about the IHHS. There's also been a lot of problem with the amount of pay that people are receiving. Not a lot of people want those jobs anymore, and a lot of the disabled communities have a hard time finding quality IHHS employees that are paid now or within space in the organization.
Right.
Can you? Yes, I'm glad to hear that the Assemblyman wants to help gay and trans people, especially youth, I'm hoping. Well, I'm here to advocate for the children who are growing up in Scientology and the ones who have survived it. In Scientology, well, they have custody over a lot of kids because if the parents are in Sea Org, they sign over their children to the church. And that organization, religion, whatever you want to call it, does not acknowledge homosexuality or trans. So there's a lot of children there who can't be gay or trans. And by that, I'm being snarky, like they are gay, they are trans, but they're not allowed to express that because it does not exist within Scientology. And and so I'm hoping that, I'm trying to bring light to this problem, and I'm hoping the Assemblyman will look into this, that there's a lot of kids living in hotels in Hollywood, and I guarantee, I'm guessing some of them are gay and trans, but all of them need help. All of them need to be able to be heard and seen and get health care and get their needs met, make sure their schooling is met, done. And it's not happening. We can't get anyone to hear or to listen. That's why I'm here, and I'm going to keep coming until this community is aware of what's going on. And so can you please, and I also wanted to ask real quick too, I know your legislator, the calendar is closed for this year. If we want to try to get laws passed to help protect these same kids, what do we need to do next year to be able to do that?
Well, you're more than welcome to contact our office at any time regarding any piece of legislation that you're interested in. You're correct. I do know that right now some members focused on the 2024 bill, but while I'm not one of the legislative staffers, as we near the end of this year's legislative session in the fall, that we'll definitely, discussions will begin around what the priorities will be for next year. However, all year long, we take folks' recommendations and their comments on all matters. So, and thank you for
And
letting me
then
know.
just one more comment.
Yes, I'm curious about, the bill AB 2602 about right to privacy.
It's not one of your girls, she's asking.
Copy, okay.
I'm just wondering if there is a stance on that, it's, right to AI protection and privacy for, use of devices.
2602. I don't know off the top of my head, but I'll check with his son number and see if we have, if he's given a certain position on that.
Yeah, just wanting to protect children's and families.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, we'll close our report. So,
Thank you.
anyone asking questions or comments, just gonna limit to max 2 minutes, just because we have a lot of things on the agenda today. Thank you so much, Josh.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Erica, you want to come up? So, this is Erica, she's from the Department of Empowerment, she's our NDA.
She empowers us.
Yes, she is. Just music as we walk up.
Good evening, everyone. As mentioned, my name is Erica Gatica-Jowdy. I help support the Central Hollywood Neighborhood Council as well as 7 other neighborhood councils throughout the city of Los Angeles. I did take some time to send the board an email right before this meeting, so that way I don't have to, kind of vomit everything out at this time, but I will like to highlight a few things. The first thing, as it relates to the end of the year fiscal dates, the easiest way to remember this is gonna be 21/20. May 20th is gonna be the last date to submit any event forms. June 1st is gonna be the last date to submit MPGs, which we're we're getting a lot in today. And then June 20th is gonna be the last date for us to use our bank card. So spend that money before that time. And then the next thing I wanted to mention is, you may have heard in the news that the city is in a budget deficit. And the reason why I'm bringing that up is because I wanted to emphasize to you all that if you do have a concern on a department's budget or the city budget overall, and there's some services that might be, on in the lines of being cut, now would be the time to either write a request letter of action to your local council member and or write a community impact statement saying, hey, we see this on the budget, our department really does need its rec and park, senior services or whatnot. So anyways, I wanted to bring that to your attention. And then lastly, but certainly not least, our department is making a call for homelessness liaisons. So the unique thing about this opportunity is that it's not just for the board, it's for any stakeholder within the community that is interested as well. What that looks like is you let Alvina know, hey, I'm interested in this position, and then you can be appointed. I think we are requesting at least 2, but of course, due to capacity and time constraints, I'll leave it up to the board to decide. But aside from that, again, I sent my email earlier today, so please feel free to look at that and you can ask me any questions.
Any questions for Erica? Any questions from the stakeholders? Any questions online?
I'll make a quick comment. I think the mayor put out a revenue outlook today, and we could all check that out if we're interested. It's pretty important that if we go to the city council when they're approving certain things, that they hear our voices, and that was like kind of a big push, because this is a very small board. We're here to listen to you all, and we can make it a community impact statement. We all decide that's what we want to do. But essentially, the mayor put something out today, so we can all take a look.
That's right.
I shared it with you guys.
Fabulous.
Right, thank you.
Thank you. Anais, CD13, she's online.
White guy.
Hi, Anais.
Hi, Alvina. I also did want to flag that our homeless deputy, Tyler,
You said Patrick is on too?
it's also online. So I just wanted to flag that if we could also give her options to speak.
Oh, what's her name?
Heidi Jansen.
Awesome. Yeah, you can go as well.
Heidi. Heidi with a K.
Thank you. Sorry, I'm trying to still see you.
Oh, for
We're
I
trying
only
to
have option. Yeah.
we're trying to see you.
excited everybody in the audience is right now. I feel like you're cheering for us. I feel like support in the community.
You're doing great.
Oh, we got some people tuning in too. That's pretty cool.
Okay, so you wanna start talking for now, or is that me?
Yeah, I can start.
Oh, there you are. Hi.
There I am. Hi, everyone. You know, Kylie is also on the, yeah.
Audit. We're ready to hear about speaker team whenever you are.
All right, I'll start. So, you know, as Erica mentioned, the budget did come out today. I'm happy to facilitate an email if you would like sort of the link where you're able to read it more at your discretion and at your time. You know, there are several things that did get funded, and I think the most important on it, and I'm sure what everybody would like to know is that Insight Safe did get funded. I did get continuance funding, so that's a highlight. There are some other small things that I think were also funded, you know, like al fresco dining. So I know this might be exciting for a lot of the businesses in our area. So that's a good one. As mentioned, if you do have like inquiries on the budget, I'm happy to facilitate a connection with somebody from the mayor's office if that's needed. You know, sort of the things of it, like, you know, the vacancies did not get funded. So what that looked like is a lot of the vacancies that we had in some of our city departments did not get funded. So, you know, in some sort of aspect that does affect us, but I'm pretty sure there are ways that the office is gonna make sure that, you know, we continue to increase a lot of important things like your street lighting. You know, our office is continuing to elevate the constant street lighting that I know it's been part of the biggest issue in the mayor's office has heard this continuously as our office continues to engage meetings with public works. I know, Bureau street lighting that includes the general manager and other council office to continue elevating this issue. I know there have been some that have been fixed, and I believe some in Ivar was one that got back to me that got fixed. You know, there's some on the boulevard that I will double check it that I know continue to be fixed. Continue sending me your 301 request for any issues you have on your neighborhood. As I always mention, I know a lot of people don't like to go through the 301 system, but it is something that I always continue to flag to constituents, like please make a 301 when you have an issue with anything, even as transportation. I do want to flag that hopefully tentative, there is, I'm working with EWDD on doing a business community fair, hopefully by Hollywood Boulevard. So this is more for like the Jedi Zone. So for those who are not familiar, there's a program called the Jedi Zone on the Boulevard. Off my top of my head, I know it's by some of the businesses on Las Palmas. But yeah, you know, that is the Jedi Zone is known to help alleviate some cost issues such as like permitting or other like I can't remember off the top of my head, but I am working with the EWTD to see if you know, within a couple of months, looking more towards June if we could do something. And then, you know, it would be collective effort with CD13, EWTD, and our other workforce development departments that we work with, and you know, just to have information happening for them. I think that's it. You know, street closures, I do want to find that the Hollywood premieres are looking to be already at a pre-COVID effort, so there are more premieres coming on the Boulevard. Again, you know, we continue to have the in-person meetings every first Thursday of the month at 9 a.m. right there in the same community. Making your end. I think I have, you know, if you wanna be able to get the agenda, cause I do know in person at 9 AM on Thursdays is not for everyone. Please feel free to reach out to me where I can give you, or put you on the list where you can see the agendas of what premieres are coming. I don't hear much often of residents, but I know, a lot of you could be impacted or are affected by the closures. I think on my end, that's it. And I'll hop it off to Kylie.
Hi, Kylie.
Hello, everybody. This is Kylie Jansen, the homelessness deputy for your area. One thing we have been working with sanitation to bring more sanitation care teams to the area so that we can focus on mitigating some of the excess trash around the encampments in between some of the larger cleanings that we're doing. So we're focusing right now on that stretch of Sunset between Highland and Vine there. Just trying to get the sidewalks a little bit more clear of trash during the week. We're also meeting regularly with outreach providers in Hollywood to make sure that all of the outreach efforts that are put in are being coordinated as efficiently as possible, making sure that, you know, we don't have too many multiple teams going to the same areas, making sure that we're contacting as many people as we can when we're out in the field. No huge updates on my end. Looking forward to next month's ad hoc homelessness committee with a few of y'all and some members of the East Hollywood Neighborhood Council. Yeah, looks like that's all for me.
Okay, any questions for CD 15? Mr. Carter? Any questions from the public? Yes, 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Hi. I'm not sure if you're aware, on April 4th, there was an article in the LA Times about how Scientology has been fair gaming the district attorney's office investigators as well as the LAPD investigators in the Danny Masterson case. There seems to be a little bit of conflict because, you know, LAPD is very connected to Scientology on the local level. I'll discuss that later. But we want to know what your stand is in your office on that article. I would like to know, and what are you guys going to do to make sure this never happens again? Our officers, our LAPD officers and our DAs should not have to fear taking any case to court. And there were people, you know, detectives that would not join that case for fear of the fair gaming. People were run off the road, houses broken into, and if you don't think that the protesters are not being fair gamed, they are. And we would like to know what you're going to do, because this issue is not going away. It's getting into the LA Times. Somebody, you know, the city council, the mayor's office, or somebody needs to get behind it and give some direction and get something to make sure this never happens again to any LAPD officer, public, protester, or DA's personnel. Thank you.
Thanks for flagging. You know, we're all concerned and aware of the, you know, several incidents, and I'm happy to connect with you afterwards to further hear your concerns on it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
2 minutes.
Yeah, so you talked about Inside Safe. You said, you know, thank God that Inside Safe is being renewed in this budget. Are you aware that, and this, I'm going by the mayor's own data on this, LAZA data, that it costs us per person in Inside Safe $17,000 per month. About $4,000 goes towards hotel rooms, another $13,000 goes towards the third parties, the nonprofits and whatnot, that administer the program. We're talking about $17,000 a month. I think there's a cheaper way to take care of the homelessness issue, especially when they are using illegal hotels. You guys familiar with Pretty Woman movie, right? The last scene where she's, you know, hanging off the balcony. That's right over there in Las Palmas. It's Las Palmas, just south of Yucca. That right there is a rent-controlled apartment building that's been illegally converted to a hotel, and they are now renting it out to the city for Inside Safe. This program that we're putting like $250 million toward, even though we have a $300 million deficit, and a new budget today, we're going to increase LAPD funding by $150 million, even though they get half of our discretionary budget, and we are going to decrease funding for homelessness and housing by $425 million. Decrease. But yet we're going to keep this most ineffective program, Inside Safe. Remember, $17,000 per month. This is LAZA and the mayor's own data, and this is what you're touting. Are you aware that it costs that amount of money? And listen, we've only permanently housed 440 people in Inside Safe. In the first 16 months, we have 45,000 people in the streets. It's getting nowhere. Are you aware of that?
Yeah, that's streets.
Yeah, I mean, your concern has been noted. I can't speak to, the contracts that, are owned by the mayor's office.
Yes, he does.
I'm involved with that for Inside Safe.
You
but
should
your
be.
concern is noted.
Where's the oversight?
All right, thank you. Yeah, I mean, your concerns are noted. I've written down your concern about Las Palmas Hotel. I can look into it.
ProPublica has a whole article on it.
Sir.
All right, thank you.
Okay, any other comments for C13? Okay, thank you. So, is Savannah on? She said you were gonna be online. Do you see Savannah by any chance? She's from Scott's office. Like, you don't have? Oh, okay. My eyesight is terrible, so.
Thanks, guys.
Department of Transportation gonna be here?
DOT, do you know if they're here? at the moment?
They're at 11.
They are? They didn't-
They're doing the presentation on Highland.
Gotcha. I just wanted to, yes, but I just wanted to.
This is the
know what
best.
that is, and then you could hear from them. But Savannah specifically, I see a hand up, so that, just make her panelist. Savannah is from Lindsay Horvath County, Supervisor's
Yeah.
Office.
It's been noted.
Do you see the, is that it? Does this? Oh, perfect, yes. She was here, but then had to run, so she asked to give a report online. Hi, Savannah.
Hi, yeah, thank you so much. Hi, everyone. I'm so sorry. I was there for a few minutes and had an emergency so long ago, but yeah, I'm so happy to be here virtually to share some updates. A few things I wanted to share. One, happy Earth Day. On March 19th, Supervisor Horvath introduced a motion to basically move faster with greater efficiency in managing our safe clean water program, which allows the county to invest in capture, treatment, and reuse of all of the rainwater and stormwater that we can. Also wanted to share some information about county resources regarding the 99-cent store closures. So for those who don't know, LA County has a department titled the Department of Economic Opportunity. And so on April 9th, the Board of Supervisors passed a motion calling for that department to create rapid response efforts and develop an assistance plan for former 99-cent store employees. And so that will be available for employees who will be laid off when all the 99-cent stores close this summer. And so that help will include obtaining unemployment benefits, job training, job placement, and other resources. So it just passed, they had an in-person meeting in Commerce about it, but they're still doing other things. And so if you or anyone you know is affected by the closures, the website is opportunity.lacounty.gov/rapid-response for those resources. Also around homelessness, wanted to share that in late February, Supervisor Horvath introduced a motion to audit LASA's fiscal operations. So the financial audit is intended to offer insights and opportunities to maximize public investment in our regional homeless systems overseen by LASA. So the way that'll work is the LA County Auditor Controller will lead an audit with support from the county's Chief Executive Office in coordination with LASA. And so those county departments will put together a report which will be due back to the Board of Supervisors in 60 days. So that'll be 60 days from February 27th. Also wanted to share the upcoming Hollywood 2.0 open house. So for those who aren't familiar, Hollywood 2.0 is a LA County Department of Mental Health pilot project to provide care and services to people experiencing mental illness and homelessness in Hollywood. And the community partner leading those efforts is Hollywood Forward. And so Hollywood Forward and Hollywood 2.0 is going to be holding an open house on Wednesday, June 5th from 4 to 6 p.m. They haven't identified a location yet, but once they do, I'll be sure to share that information at the upcoming meetings and with the board as well. And lastly, I wanted to share that LA County Department of Arts and Culture has an arts internship program for college students. So they're paid internship positions open for undergraduate college students who either reside in or attend college in LA County. And they're currently accepting applications for that internship. So the website for that is lacountyarts.org/internships. So that was everything I wanted to share. If there's any questions.
Can you repeat the date for the Hollywood 2.0 open house?
Yeah, it'll be June 5th. So Wednesday, June 5th from 4 to 6 p.m. And again, no location yet, but I'll share that once it's available.
Awesome. Any other questions from the board? Any questions from stakeholders?
Yes, I don't know if you heard what I said to Council District 13's representative about the April 4th LA Times article on how Scientology is accused of fair gaming both the district attorney's office and LAPD detectives with regards to the Danny Masterson criminal case. I find it disturbing. Everyone should find it disturbing. There's also protests going on right now, and the protesters have been fair gamed as well. And I just want to know your, the stand that you guys are going to take, because it's no longer being hidden. It's coming out into the open, and it's got to be dealt with. Also, the very cozy relationship between LAPD and Scientology, which I plan on discussing later. These things need to be addressed, and I'm asking you if you can go back, and have your person give a public statement on that April 4th LA Times article about how Scientology is fair gamed, which means threatening, making threats, intimidation tactics against our DA and our LAPD detectives to the point where they had a very hard time finding anyone willing to work on the Danny Masterson criminal case because they feared being fair gamed by Scientology. Like, enough is enough. The public we don't want this anymore. We want some kind of, we've been coming here to meet. I've been coming to meetings, and it's like everyone's like, okay. But again, here it is in the LA Times. Can you please, I'm looking for someone to come up and find a solution that our detectives and our DA don't have to fear a church in order to prosecute one of their members. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for flagging that. I'll be sure to share that with our office and with our team, and also happy to connect further about that.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I don't know if you're aware, but a few years ago we had a proposition where we passed Measure J, which reallocates money for pre-trial services and puts it towards Care First, right? And what happened is, and I got to tell you, Horvath's office should be aware of this issue. There's a company called Accenture. Accenture used to be called Arthur Andersen back in the day. They were the accountants for Enron. You guys familiar with the Enron scandal? Arthur Andersen was their accountants. A lot of people went to jail over that, and they rebranded themselves as Accenture. And they handled pretrial services. And somehow the county gave them the contract, Accenture, without any sort of bid, without any sort of get that contract. And what's going to be done to make sure that they lose that contract should not be in place. What does your office have to say about that?
Yeah, I'm actually not familiar with that particular situation or that contract, but I'm happy to look into it more and connect also. I don't know if there's, I'll just share here.
Go to exposeaccenture.com or .org. It's one of them, okay? This is well noted. We've been talking about this for months. And I got to tell you, I'm disappointed with Unices in Council District 1 in La Defensa that are funding them, that are getting the contract for this stuff.
That was for your time. So Valerie said you'll follow up, right?
Yeah, and I'll just share my email address too, is sportillo, so PORTILLO @bos.lacounty.gov.
Is it S. Portillo?
No dot, just sportillo.
Any other
Thank you,
comments?
guys.
Anyone online? So we're gonna get online, so up to 2 minutes, please. Can I hand up. But this is not public comment, this is just.
Oh, this is not, public comment?
I'll call public comment after we're done with government and then DOT.
Oh, okay. It has to do with parking, is that?
Public comment, stand by.
Okay, okay.
Okay, thanks, Savannah, I think that'll be it then. Well, like I said, another hand. On that. Oh, perfect, that's it.
Thanks, Edgar.
So, one second, might be a question for you. If you're not here for Savannah, can you put your hand up? Okay, thanks, Ross.
Oh, yeah, I put my hand up.
Thank you, guys.
Alright, I guess meanwhile, Officer White, do you want to come up here and then we'll. Go ahead, Eric, do you have a question for Savannah? You can still comment. Well, actually, okay. Eric, anything for Savannah?
For William too, the guy that was yelling about $17,000.
Technically, it's public comment. Stand by for that, Eric. I just want to finish with Savannah and government representatives. Alright, let's go with Brian White. We do have one more? Sorry. Okay, last hand up. Are you here for Savannah or public comment?
This is Battalion, can you hear me?
Hi, who are you?
Yeah, this is Battalion Chief Tim Merritt, LA City Fire Department.
Perfect. Would you like to give your report to us?
Yeah, just a couple of things, just real quick. So, coming to you from Fire Station 27 here. First thing, just want to make a reminder to everybody that May 11th, Saturday, is our fire service day, so open house at all of the local fire stations. So, it's your opportunity to come into the fire stations and see the equipment and see the taxpayers' dollars at work. Second is October 1st, we're going to be opening filing for anybody that is interested in a position with the fire department, open enrollment for putting in an application. That starts on October 1st. And lastly, LAFD.org is our website. It's basically, you can get basically all the information that you want. You can also set up an account for alerts. Anything big that goes on in the city, you would get notified via email or text. Anything in your neighborhood or anything like that, where fires, significant incidents, that service is available to all of the city community members. So that was it. Any questions for me?
Any questions for the board? Any questions?
Hi, Chief, is it Assistant Chief? I want to talk to you about all the fake fire calls that are happening at the protests. There's a lot of fake LAPD and a lot of LAFD calls, absolutely fake. It's costing the city a lot of money, and I want to know what you guys are doing to get to the bottom of it, to see who's doing it, because it's putting, not only is it wasting city resources, it's putting everyone at risk. And even last month at the meeting I was here, one of those fake calls came in for a gas leak right on cue. And this happens, I would say, almost on a daily basis, wherever any advocate or protester may be, and it's very serious. And I'm concerned that at some point, somebody's going to get hurt. It's not a game. We don't know who it is for sure, whether it's Scientology or whatever, but can you please make sure that you guys investigate this and get to the bottom of it to help save the money, to save money for the city and to protect both your personnel and the public. Thank you.
Yeah, comment on that is, we take all false calls very seriously because it does endanger our personnel as well as the public. We have had a uptick definitely at certain areas in Hollywood here, a lot of them owned by Scientology. We report all false calls to LAPD. It's a law enforcement thing to enforce it. The fire department does not enforce the laws that govern people making false calls in 911. But your fire department is here anytime 911 is called. We show up and rectify the problem as best as we can. It's unfortunate that people are abusing the system and calling it false calls, but LAPD is aware of it. They have a task force that is looking into it, but I don't. That is completely for law enforcement to answer.
I do want to echo the last month's meeting there.
full fire department, trucks and everything did come in here for a gas leak, and it was disruptive and confusing. But I guess my question is, every call has some sort of GPS, right? And they can be tracked, right?
That's not my expertise. I don't know. I know there's ways of blocking it. I have heard because I kind of asked the same question. How do we not know where these calls are coming from? But with the cellular phone system and the way that the 911 system is set up, I know a lot of times that we get responded to the cell site. They can't pinpoint where the cell phone is. So we'll get an unknown type of medical emergency or something, and we'll go to the cell site in that general area and look for somebody who's stressed. So I don't know if the technology is quite there within the 911 system, but that's not my expertise.
It's sad to hear in case of emergency and you can't speak. I actually maybe stupidly assumed like you just knew where I was. If I was to call 911, like if I was like, couldn't speak, you just get there, but that's not really the case, huh?
Yeah, no, unless you drop a pin, you can send that, or there's now Web3 words
Like,
now that can pinpoint you within an 8-foot by 8-foot square. That's what we use for hikers up in the hills and stuff like that, but the actual GPS on your cell phone, I don't know if it's a notification thing or a privacy thing or what. I'm not, like I said, that's not my area of expertise.
Gotcha. Thank you for clarifying that. So I know I get an address in case of emergency. Any questions? Any other questions for the fire department? Anyone online? Those hands I think are not, I think they're the same hands. Okay, we're gonna not say ignore those hands, we're gonna not think those hands are for you.
One of them's mine, I'm
Oh,
gonna
good.
throw mine.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Keep yourself in hand.
Yeah. Okay, well, appreciate you coming in virtually, and hope to see you next month. Either way. Okay. Thank you guys. A great intro to you. Officer Benz.
William lights up.
Hello, everyone. Officer Brian White, Senior Lead Officer for the Entertainment District. Real quick to your question, there is that capability. Problem is, that's for the person that wants to be helped and wants to be found. So if you're bouncing or using an app or a computer, in this case, whoever this individual, which clearly is breaking law, or individuals, whoever they may be, they're hiding their identity. So it still obviously is always best to provide, if you can provide where your location is if you have an emergency, still will always be the best possible scenario. But if you're unable to or unable to speak, the call does get recorded as far as if it's location like landline or they do have the GPS. So those aren't just gone, but again, we have some other stuff going on here with individuals that are, they're breaking the law, so they're hiding their ability to be tracked.
I see. Thanks for the clarification.
No problem.
They know what they're doing.
Yeah, unfortunately, correct.
Evil and diabolical.
Yeah, diabolical.
You guys up against the evil and diabolical force?
Yes, we are. Amen.
So real quick, updates from the Entertainment District. Not too many changes. The one thing I would say that could be the most concerning for everyday citizens is where we typically were having a pattern of robberies that were targeting high-end jewelry, high-end watches, high-end necklaces. We've seen a little more of the uptake of more like your random street type of robbery, which was more of a traditional thing probably pre-2020, where that's the person that's someone sees an opportunity, whether it's a phone or a wallet, and that typically affects your average everyday person who's out with their phone, or their whatever they have value on them on the boulevard. So we would recommend for those that are anywhere you go, this is just sound advice: is don't bury your face in that cell phone, as tempting as it can be. It's an easy distraction, makes you less aware of what's happening, and it's broadcasting to any potential suspect that you're an easier victim. So that's probably the easiest thing you can do to help yourself from being a victim of a street robbery. We have an event coming up on Sunday, and when I say we, it's not the police, but our Police Activities League, which is a non-profit youth organization that provides resources to at-risk youth, whether it's tutoring, mentoring, sports activities, all sorts of things. Great program. They have the Highland Boulevard will be shut down for our car show. So it's open to all the public, free, and it's a very unique event where you get to see some really cool cars out on Hollywood Boulevard, supported by many of the amazing businesses and volunteers that are here. And so come check it out and help support some of these kids that need some help.
I gotta ask Rich if we're gonna have celebrities judging this here, or LAPD?
Actually, Jordan here to speak to that.
Okay, we'll find out. Stay tuned, everybody, to find out who the celebrity's gonna be.
Actually, so
Cyberpunk, oh.
real quick for Ms. Crystal, I did look into the last month, we mentioned the shootings. I don't know where that information came from. We don't have any records of any shootings happening from Hollywood Hookah, so it's
Citizen app is not accurate, guys.
So
Come on.
sometimes citizens
God, I
will,
always say that.
things come up or come through differently. It's still, I mean, you can look at it as a resource, but it is still kind of social media space. So, and this is the reality for police work too. Calls will come out with saying something, X, Y, Z happened. Oftentimes it's very different. So, it's something that was, for anybody to take with a grain of salt until you know what's happened after the fact.
Yeah, just a question. Have you also seen like an uptick in robberies in residential buildings? Because it seems like there have been more like break-ins into garages and things like that.
So you're talking about, burglaries are when you're entering a home when someone's not there. There isn't anything, all our stats are still showing lower than that crime is down. So there isn't per se an uptick, but maybe there's something going on, whether it's celebrities. Look, the mayor's house got broken into yesterday, things like that, or if it's a high interest. Sometimes those catch the attention of the news, so that might be one reason why you're more aware of it. We're not showing again anything to be overly alarmed, but they still are present. I mean, we've always those are things that have always happened throughout. So it's still something that so that means there's everything you can do to help those situations: ring cameras, lighting, security systems, everything you can do to help harden your target of the house or apartment or business, wherever it might be, vehicle, making sure we still have people that don't lock their doors and don't. So, just taking every little advantage in your favor to try to make your place a harder place to be.
I filed a police report, which I know is like so low priority, but I just wanted to like bring it on your radar. I knew I was going to do this for like two guys.
Yes, you know what?
Midday,
You
stole my street sign.
Yeah, you
I
did.
want it back.
The guy's dog's name.
The guy's dog's name is Cosmo. In broad daylight, they take down the sign, they take the Cosmo, and I said, can you please not take my street sign? He said, you know where you live, and you don't need it. My dog's name is Cosmo. Anyway, I
My
thought,
dog needs it.
yeah, his dog apparently can't go on Amazon and buy a Cosmo street sign. So I was wondering how to get my street sign, because we still got a caution tape there, and it frustrates me because I know exactly who it is, thanks to socials, I know where he works, and like, have we knocked on his door? Like, be like, give me my street sign back?
Yeah, I was supposed to follow up on that after.
Please.
So,
I know Crystal's bang bang at the hookah bar was more important, I totally get it.
I'm gonna be honest, like,
Please,
the chances of getting the sign back are probably nil.
Why?
I mean,
If you go to him and say, I have a witness, I took pictures of them doing it.
it's possible. The reality is though, it's probably gonna be replaced.
But just if you
before it
want.
gets- And I know that takes a while, so.
These are good.
So,
So,
way,
we
they
know
should
he's,
yes, so I still need to follow up with that.
Pitchforks, right? We got.
They're seeing how LAPD is.
I've had my nose broken. They know their name. They won't do anything about it. This is just a few weeks ago.
I'll go there.
What are you talking about? His buddies too.
But anyway, so yeah.
Whose buddies? White's buddies. He
My
knows.
sign was full of ticker.
Yeah, okay.
You've been assaulted by people who you know exactly where it was. They do
What's
nothing.
being done about like mail theft?
My God.
And do we see those statistics trending in any direction?
So straight mail theft is actually reported through the postal inspector.
Or parcel theft?
So it's those, which is, because it's a federal thing, it gets its own, like if you go to file mail theft, you file it through, it's a federal agency, they have their own investigators for that. So, it's not a stat that we necessarily keep track of. However, sometimes you have situations where maybe the mail is in like an apartment, inside of an apartment complex, and they're breaking into the apartment complex to steal the mail. That now becomes a burglary that could fall under LAPD. So it kind of just depends on the situation. But it is, I mean, that's not a stat I have for you, but it still is a major complaint of people losing stuff out of their mailbox.
I was gonna say, we've reported to the LAPD multiple times about our apartment complex's mail theft, and then also a universal postal key that's now been used twice or 3 times to break into everybody's mailboxes.
So yeah, that's the thing where if it's inside of a building.
She's the president of the council.
Burglary by entering a building with the intent to commit theft. So that now constitutes burglary. So that goes to LAPD detectives, something they can work on, so that's where we come into play. But as far as your mailboxes that are out, it's a huge problem, it happens to a lot of people. It's the same thing with packages as well too, so, and those aren't necessarily postal, but, when it comes to anything, like, I don't ever put anything in my own personal mailbox, and it needs to be delivered, I'll take it to, the post office itself, typically deliver directly into the ones inside, as opposed to if you have any of those drive-up ones or those ones that sit outside. I don't put in those anymore. I've had stuff, my own personal things, stolen out of, so those payments are, your issue, you ever go through, you start paying the fees. So those are, again, a couple extra tips, and definitely don't leave them, one thing if you dropped in the outside box, midday, and they're gonna collect at the end of the night, but definitely don't do it overnight, that's my advice. Anytime you have packages coming, I always recommend having it diverted to the local UPS, place where you can pick it up there, as opposed to having it delivered to your house once you know you're gonna be home. All these other little things, because they're extremely difficult. You have people that are just going around following trucks, just looking to see this stuff.
No.
Quick question. So going back to the thefts that you mentioned, like jewelry and phones and stuff like that, are those happening more, there's two questions, are those happening more during the day or during the evening?
Yeah, I can clarify. So the nightlife stuff is typically, the jewelry was more typically nightlife related, so late evening, early morning. Because you have people that are wearing flashy jewelry, going out to clubs, going out to restaurants. So that was, again, more of a targeted, group at select times. The street type robberies are a little more random, and it happens throughout the day more or so.
And my second question is, if somebody gets their phone stolen, I've always wondered, what is the policy of, because you know how you can do Find My iPhone and you can see down to a very specific address sometimes where your phone is. What's the policy on that?
So if we contact somebody and we can do that with you, if you're able to access your Find My iPhone, we'll absolutely try to get units to where that is. And when that does work out, we are able to. So it just depends upon the biggest kicker is if they immediately disable the phone. That kind of that's the biggest challenge.
But if you have, you're able to provide an address that people actually live.
Absolutely. It's over here. We can start directing units into where it is and make arrests. That's the best chance to catch the person that specific night without any follow-up. I'm more than happy to do that for you.
Okay, I have a comment and a question, and thank you for your time. So, I'm a little bit hung up on this, on Alvina's case, in the sense that, like in all honesty, if we have the criminals outlined, and this is a crime, defacing public property, it's definitely a crime in 2024 still, right? And we have all this evidence that's just served up to the LAPD so that the personnel in our department that's protecting us, the citizens, is able to go out and deliver this service for us. How are we supposed to instill confidence in our constituents here? Because we're just here as public service. How do we get this to come through? And I fully understand why some people would be super upset if they were wronged and the LAPD can't protect.
Correct. So
maybe how do we get to a place where we're communicating to the constituents that, hey, we are trustworthy, and hey, we are here to do this job, and hey, we're all in this together. Because right now there's
I'm not saying that they're not, I'm not saying this isn't being investigated, they're not being punished. I'm just saying, I don't think, look, they probably don't have the sign, and I have to follow up to see what's been done.
Even if they got rid of the sign.
So here's the deal, what I'm saying is, yes, there's absolutely follow-up to investigate them and punish them. That should be being done. I'm just saying, I wouldn't hold your breath for getting the sign.
Okay, so well, forget the sign, but still.
I don't, this very well can be at the DA's office or the city attorney's office now, waiting for charges to be filed. I just have to follow up to find out where it is in that.
Gotcha.
I just haven't got that.
Because it's just so, I feel like our service here in this civil body is to create that connection.
100%.
Because that's what we're here to do. We're here to create a connection because it doesn't work when we're separate.
No, and again, you're absolutely right. There's follow-up information that's not a hard one to work on. That this should have already been done. I just have to follow up.
It's not good. I'll follow up.
This is bullshit.
Awesome, okay, so, all right, let's do one last one and then go to LADOT, yes.
Okay, yeah, so basically, I'm having a sort of similar issue, but with noise. So I live up the street on Wilcox between Yucca and Hollywood, and my apartment building borders this really big parking lot right there. And so I've been in contact with the LAPD since November, and then also before that, probably for the last like few years, trying to get the noise from the parking lot figured out. So right now they're having a night market there with food from 5 p.m. until 11 p.m. They're having amplified music, live karaoke, live bands for 6 hours. And I've been in contact with all of the different city departments, and everybody's saying that the only people who can help me is the LAPD. But nothing's happening. Either they're not coming out, or when they come out, they just kind of ride through and nothing goes on. And then I talked with the health department, and they had said that it's definitely illegal, that they don't have permits for that, and they also can't be selling food open air in the parking lot. But the only way that they can enforce that is with LAPD's help. And so I'm just not sure how can, like you said, how can we make the connection so this can happen? The noise is unbearable. Also, there's porta potties right outside my bedroom window that are permanent. The smell is awful, it's disgusting, and this is just a huge problem for me and all my neighbors. And so we've been in contact with you guys since November with all the different city departments, and we just don't know what to do anymore.
I'm waiting to talk.
It's just a really big quality of life issue.
Yes, all right, so, starting with the noise part, that would fall on LAPD. And I would assume you're calling the non-emergency line.
Yeah.
Sometimes those calls get pushed out, the response time isn't as fast as we all would hope it would be. That can be a challenge. What I would say with that is, have you reached out? That's kind of on the border of the entertainment district and the senior lead that covers that area?
Yeah, I've been reaching out to the senior lead police officers.
Is that Officer Mata?
Her and also Officer Corona.
Okay.
For the past, like, I don't know how many months.
All right, what I was gonna say is, I believe that's mostly a night issue though, correct?
Yeah, 5 p.m. till 11
Yeah,
p.m. And then there's also another tent there that sells food until about 4 in the morning with just like super loud music. And it's just like, the noise is just ridiculously loud.
Is that on Wilcox and Hollywood, or is that?
It's in the parking lot. All of it is helped to have.
So that's still in the parking lot too, okay, so I'll be happy, let me get you my information. I'll be happy to see if I can coordinate some of the nighttime stuff.
Yeah.
To help you with the noise portion. Health department does enforce, the health code violation stuff. That's not 100% true, they can enforce those on their own. If they want LAPD assistance because they're concerned, we're more than happy to go out with them and provide them like a presence to stand by while they do their investigations. So.
Okay, yeah, I have their number and like the name of the person who's in charge of it, and they said that I could possibly push for something like that to get done quicker.
Yeah, oftentimes there's a lot of, getting all the entities to work together can sometimes be a challenge, and there's, a lot of different avenues, so if as a senior lead, if that's something we can help you with, we can try to do it.
Yeah, it's like, it's not so much about them selling food, of course, everyone has to like make their money, it's just like the insane noise and like the smell of the porta potties.
Yes, and oftentimes, it's not even about just enforcement, it's about, sometimes we can help open up that line of, you do this, and this, and this, and this differently. This is where you're outside of the law, and this is where, what you could possibly do this legally, maybe we can figure those things out where it works for them, and then you guys as well.
I'm so glad you came in, I know you emailed, so.
Yeah.
It's be worth the trip.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Definitely sidebar, any other questions, or we should go to LADOT? 2 minutes?
Yes, hi, Slow White. We just found out tonight that there is finally a task force by LAPD to look into the exorbitant amount of calls, swatting calls, fake calls, coming in against protesters. And by task force, can you let us know who is involved in the task force? Has it gone to the FBI yet? And if you have not gone to the FBI yet, why not, and will you be? Because this is a serious issue with how much it's costing, but it's also a serious issue that it puts people in lives in jeopardy, because the wrong call can come and, and something can happen, and, we really want this resolved.
Correct. you're right, like, these are drains on all resources and our public safety issues. I don't think anyone here is gonna disagree that this is ridiculous. So, it is challenging to investigate though, and I don't know where how far along. I don't have any better except to agree that it needs to stop. And someone should be, if possible, prosecuted.
Well, can you put in like a request for the FBI? Oh, okay, I thought you got 2 minutes. Okay.
2 minutes, like once you stop. Then
Got it, got it.
Oh, yeah, 2 minutes.
Yeah, so I'm gonna expand upon what she said earlier. There was an LA Times article that came out that says the Church of Scientology is harassing the LAPD officers, breaking their windows, things like that, who are investigating Danny Masterson and going after prosecutors who are investigating Danny Masterson. And we actually been holding protests related to Danny Masterson. Woman before he took her and he raped her. And the person that owns La Poubelle came to court with him every day, defending him, wrote a character statement, and apparently has sort of mocked the victims. So we've been holding protests there. Officer White right here has personally been up there to offer, they've had 4 or 5 cops up there basically working security for La Poubelle, essentially. And you know, in the city, there's this unhealthy relationship between the Church of Scientology and the LAPD, even though they're harassing LAPD themselves. So it's real kick in the butt when they're going after harassing LAPD, but then they have this connection, and nobody has a bigger connection with the Church of Scientology in the LAPD. That guy right there, Officer White. Officer White, if there's a Scientology function, he will be there. Doesn't matter if it's in his district or not. He'll be in Northeast Division. And I've watched videos. There are videos of him harassing protesters. He even came up to me and asked me one time, after he harassed the protester, and I have his own video. Is that guy a bad guy? It's on your business, he's a protester. So that's just a comment.
Okay. So, take some comments.
Scientology cop White.
He's
flushed.
I think it's a comment. Is there a question?
No, it's a comment. You can go on.
So
We can go on to the next thing.
I'm not
He's just gonna lie to you.
I'm
Just go on to the
not
next
trying
thing.
to protect Scientology.
Yes, you are.
And I'm not.
Yes, he's a Scientologist.
I didn't even say that on that. I asked him, was
He
it
plays.
friendly? Did we have
There's a
friendly
sign.
conversation?
Play your guitar at the function.
Anyway.
Okay, go.
But no, absolutely. If anyone fair game on LAPD officers is just as bad as anybody else, it doesn't matter. It's unacceptable. I would agree. Anyone that does that should be punished. I'm not here to protect any of these people, and I'm here to help keep the peace in several situations, and that's about it.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions? Otherwise, we're going to go to LADOT. Okay.
Oh, I'll be here for your land use
Oh,
issue.
perfect.
Planning land use.
Yes, you have a full agenda item after NPGs. Thanks for everyone's patience. We're going to do LADOT, then we're going to do public comment, then we're going to go to NPGs, then we're going to do club. That's the plan for tonight. LADOT, are you here? Easy peasy. Let's show them Hollywood, right here tonight. Okay, LADOT, let's hear from you. Public comment, then NPGs, then club. And then we do like homelessness.
No, I'm in my home. Hi, everyone. Hi, Central Hollywood Neighborhood Council. Thanks for having me. I have some slides, so if I can share my screen, I will do that right now. Let's see.
Yes, he did, and yes, he is.
So I know you guys have a lot to cover in your meeting tonight, so I won't take up too much time, but please, I look forward to your questions on this material after I present a couple of slides. So I want to share a little bit on the Highland Avenue Big Build Safety Project that we're doing. That's going to be starting construction very soon. Highland Avenue, specifically from Franklin to Santa Monica Boulevard, was identified a number of years ago by our Vision Zero program at DOT due to the high number of fatal and severe crashes. If you're not familiar with the Vision Zero program, this is the city's program focused on reducing fatal and severe crashes by through a number of methods, but at DOT this primarily translates into redesigning the streets. So we're redesigning Highland at the time. So that means using like striping, roadway striping, paint bollards, plastic bollards, and as well as removing the peak hour lane on Highland. So I'll talk about that. So if you know the street well, you know it's 2 lanes in each direction with a turn lane down the middle or a median or left turn pockets and a central median. We also have the lanes on either side, northbound and southbound, are called peak hour lanes. So there's peak hour parking restrictions that say no stopping between 7 and 9 a.m. and 3 to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday. So basically, during those peak hours, morning and afternoon, the street turns into a 6-lane highway. So what this project is doing is redesigning it so that we replace those curbside running peak hour lanes with full-time parking. So mid-block, just kind of generally on the street, this is what it'll look like. So we're not removing any of the full-time through lanes. And we're not removing any of the turn lanes, of course. And then at the intersections, what this does is give us an opportunity to fill in the corners with painted curb extensions. So it'll look something like this photo here, except we won't have the beige colored paint, but we will be striping out a curb extension around the corners and putting plastic bollards where possible to take up that space at the corner where we couldn't before. So I'll explain more of that in a second. But just in terms of the map where this is all happening, so between Hollywood and Sunset, we're not touching the peak hour lanes. They're going to be maintained because we need that capacity as cars queue up, especially near the Hollywood and Highland intersection. South of Sunset, so between Sunset and Fountain, we're going to be removing the peak hour lane for the most part, except for northbound in the afternoon. So that northbound lane between Fountain and Sunset will still be available, that 3rd lane. And then between Fountain and Melrose, so that's the rest of where it exists today, we will be removing the peak hour lane entirely. So on both sides, all directions, all times a day. Let you absorb that map for a sec. And then I also want to just note existing time limits on the street now, like if it's a 1-hour max or 2-hour max, those will remain. So we're not like eliminating everything all the restrictions, we're just eliminating the peak hour restrictions. And all the parking meters will remain as well. So in terms of safety benefits, removing that 3rd lane is going to bring improved safety and comfort for drivers turning left, because you're only having to turn left against 2 lanes of opposing traffic instead of 3, especially avoiding a car speeding down that 3rd lane, which often happens. The painted curb extensions are going to encourage slower speeds and calmer turns. Pedestrians crossing are going to have less exposure to traffic and less lanes to cross. And then, of course, we hope that this will help support adjacent businesses by providing more parking during those times, or allowing parking during those times.
Thank you, guys.
A couple other things we're doing at the same time as this project, as we get into the street and redesign it, we're going to be extending a couple of medians using yellow plastic bollards. So to signify that that's the center of the street, we have to use yellow. So it looks something like this photo here, and we're going to be doing that in front of some driveways where folks are turning left, sort of against traffic. So if you're familiar with where the Jack in the Box is at Fountain and Highland, over Hart houses between Leland and Sunset. Sorry, I said between Fountain and Lexington, and between Leland and Sunset. So it's on the slide there. So at those locations, we are going to be having kind of a strip of yellow bollards to block left turns out of the driveways. So it'll be right turn only from the driveway. We hope that'll improve safety and avoid conflicts there. And then finally, I want to just note that we have these existing kind of bollard configurations at Highland and Romaine and Highland and Waring. We will be enhancing those and improving how they look and function. I know that there's some maintenance issues and people have been hitting them, and there's broken plastic bollards. We are going to be removing them and kind of starting fresh with an improved design that's still going to maintain the restrictions that it does today, forcing a right turn from those minor streets on Highland. But hopefully avoiding people hitting them as much. So, those are the design elements of the project, and implementation is actually starting tomorrow, Tuesday, April 23rd. So I apologize for, it might seem like late notice, but we hope that these improvements are really just gonna bring benefits to the community and to businesses, and of course, improve safety in the way streets used. So if you have any questions, email address there, vision0@lacity.org, that can reach our staff, and we'll get back to you if you want to follow up later, or have you taken questions now if there's time.
I just have a question. You know, Vision Zero, the first I've heard of Vision Zero is Venice Boulevard on the west side. Is that a project that you were a part of too?
That was many years ago, I was personally a part of, yeah, it was kind of, yeah, towards the beginning of the program. There was got travel lanes on Venice.
My question is, so the Vision Zero, I think was supported in the beginning, but then like neighbors had so many bad things to say about it. So what was the learnings, whether it's outreach or whether it's introduction or whether it's post, I don't know. What did we learn from Venice Boulevard and Vision Zero? And if you were part of the group then, perhaps maybe they told you, or what did we learn?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's kind of a big picture question here about our, department, but I can say that, definitely out of that experience, our department shifted more towards, increased community outreach on our projects. That was one big takeaway for sure.
Is the stance from the department, like any parking, or I guess parking's not taken away in this case, but any lanes that are taken away, or anything that's taken away from cars, always just gonna have like a push and pull? Like, basically you just like, we're gonna be a stopping route, so it is what it is, or like, what's the way to get public input or support on this?
I'm sorry, I don't know if I understood the question.
The neighbors were very upset, like, about the lanes being taken in Venice, and it's just like, it was an uproar all the time, and I'm just wondering if anyone's gonna care in Highland, or it's just, Hollywood's cool with it.
Yeah, this is very different because these are not actual travel lanes. It's travel lanes for 2 hours a day in certain directions. So it's not considered the same. And we hope that the impact definitely won't be felt the same. We looked at the numbers in our case, like we look at the traffic volumes and make a determination based on those numbers to see if it's gonna really be felt. And that's why we're planning to maintain the peak hours in certain places and remove in others, because we know where it can be impactful and where it won't. So yeah, in this case, we're yeah.
So is this more like a trial and error, see how it works, and if it doesn't work, we kind of revisit it, we don't come up with some other things?
Well, we are using materials that aren't permanent, so in that sense, yes, we do consider it a little bit of a trial and error. I can imagine that we would, reverse it, but that, if it's a total disaster and we need to, physically possible, if there's traffic jammed up and we need to reopen the lane during certain hours, it is being done just with, paint and signs and things like that. So yeah, we're definitely, as a department, always open to feedback after it's implemented, and we always kind of take a look at it and see how it's operating.
The Hollywood Bowl traffic, you go to Highland, you see like the parking lot of Highland, it's like they're all going to the bowl, so like, is this just gonna make it as crazy?
That's a different neighborhood council about the
It sounds completely insane. I mean, I'm right there in Highland, and I see that, Highland's just backed up, right? Especially right there on Sunset and, Hollywood, between there. But, I mean.
Yeah, and that's why between there, we're gonna maintain it. So during peak hours, you'll have 3 lanes in each direction, between Sunset and Highland.
Okay.
Or sorry, between Sunset and Hollywood.
I do plan to go to that other council though.
What about Fountain and Sunset?
Between Fountain and Sunset, northbound in the afternoon hours, it will be, the 3 lanes will be maintained. So people will be able to travel northbound in all 3 lanes.
Well,
They'll be able to drive curbside.
And Elvina just brought up a good question. We're coming up to the Hollywood Bowl season that lasts like the entire summer. So will the hours, reflect to kind of like support those type of special events? Because the traffic is really heavy, it's bad trying to leave or come into the city around those days.
That's a good point to bring up. Sorry, I'm just trying to jot these notes down. So yes, we definitely take into consideration how the street operates, based on events. Our district engineering, LADOT district engineering office in the Hollywood area, they're not here tonight, unfortunately, but, they're very attuned to traffic patterns associated with events in the Hollywood area, and they have, reviewed and approved this plan. So I trust that, that's been taken into consideration.
And then, can you speak to LA Dot, using, sorry, can you speak to LA Dot using up residency parking, for Hollywood?
Residency parking?
Like in apartment complexes, LA Dot is kind of taking over apartment complexes and then charging a monthly fee.
That's not something that my group is involved in at all, so unfortunately.
There's a question from stakeholders?
Well, the reason I'm here tonight is because of that very reason. I live at the Hollywood Arts Collective, which is in between Selma and it is on Schrader between Selma and Hollywood Boulevard. It is 150 units, and there's a plethora of parking downstairs, which is owned by LADOT. Now, for some inexplicable reason, they built 150 units and allocated 80 spaces to those 150 units. It's ludicrous to me. Anybody who in their right mind, I would think they would have to put at least 150, although if it were me, knowing that most households have more than one vehicle, I would probably allocate 300, but I digress. So the reason that I'm here tonight is because we are being told, when we came in August to sign our lease, to maybe sign our lease, we were told that they didn't have any parking. Was that a deal breaker? We were just about to say that it was a deal breaker.
I posted
Another person came up to us and said that they were in talks with the LA Department of Transportation about giving us more
right now, but if you look on my TikTok, I posted the
this is already
agenda.
April, and it has not happened. We've gotten a letter telling us, we who do not have parking, that the LADOT is going to take over the residential parking lot.
If someone can look on my TikTok, I posted the
We
agenda.
are hoping
They will
that the
have
LADOT will at least find it in their hearts to rent us.
Yes, it's on the agenda.
The residents a space, and by all means, please keep in mind.
I
the
posted
people
it to
that
my
are
story.
Physically
You can also look up
incapacitated, families and elderly, for your top priority to allocate spaces.
And it'll be there.
And we have a lot of burglaries and a lot of problems in that building. We're so scared that it's gonna be a lot worse once the public parking starts parking underneath our building. Thank you.
Any comment? Yeah, any comment?
Yeah, I don't have any comment to that. Unfortunately, I'm not involved in anything related to parking, so that'll be another division or department. If you want to contact me and I forward it on.
That email that you've got up there? The vision?
Yeah, you can email that. Yeah, email that address. Me and my team check that address. We could always just hit forward to the right person. I think that's the easiest way.
Thank you, and if you'd like to mention it, that would be very much appreciated as well.
I was just wondering, so for the lanes that are going to be blocked off for the changes that you're making on Highland, is anything going to go in its place? Like, what is the new design look like?
Yeah, I think this is probably, hopefully, the easiest way to explain it. Let me know if it's not, but the top drawing here is what it will look like, which is that you'll have 2 lanes going northbound, 2 lanes going southbound, and then along the curve, there'll be a parking lane, just like most other streets in the city. So it's not gonna look very different. You won't.
Yes, they are voted in, but they can be appointed as well if there's an open space.
Yeah,
So
you'll
you're
see
saying
them
now you can
as
park there between 7 a.m. and 9 a.m. You don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, I guess my question was more around beautification, like if you're making changes to the street design. I think that the main priority for this community has been mostly around beautification and improving traffic, and I'm not sure this improves traffic.
Or the
This agenda was put out 3 days ago. Sort of the aim of my
This is
group.
neighborhood council, not city.
And beautification is part of.
Just FYI.
Right, like.
Are you thinking like trees or street furniture and things like
Right,
that?
exactly, and just other things that make it more pedestrian and friendly and kind of slows the traffic.
Yeah, I mean, things like that definitely can contribute to traffic safety. Unfortunately, well, one is that our department doesn't do anything off the roadway, so like anything on the sidewalk, like furniture or trees, would be the Bureau of Street Services, also known as Streets LA. And there isn't a lot of funding for this project, so this is something that's, we're doing out of our own, LA DOT budget, for Vision Zero, and so we're not able to fund like, anything that's, concrete or like things like that. But again, we don't control the sidewalk elements as well.
In
So
terms
this
of,
is,
like the painting and things like that, do you have thoughts for different artistic renderings, and just things to make it a little bit more interesting for what you are doing on the road?
yeah, there are unfortunately a lot of constraints on like what colors we can use in the roadway. Like the image I have on the screen here is something we did on South Figueroa in South LA. We used the beige color, which was, permitted. We had to special order it, so we don't have.
Did somebody find the code for Jess's mom?
We can talk about adding color in that way. But there's, honestly, the palette's pretty limited.
If not, go to
So yeah, if there's any ideas from the community,
It'll be on the
let us
beginning.
know.
I'll say agenda for today.
The stuff the LED team puts out there isn't pretty.
Oh, gotcha.
She sends, the mayor presents a representative
Are you guys
at times.
entertaining any kind of like public comment, or are you guys talking to people, and what kind of surveying are you doing before you make these kind of decisions?
For this, we didn't do any surveying. We worked with the council office, Council District 13, to ensure we had their support on it. And they asked us to contact the bid. They felt like the bid was the biggest stakeholder here, the media district bid. So I did get in touch with them, prior to finalizing this design.
Moving forward, can you guys actually loop us in any chance into your kind of conversations and things like that?
Decision-making process?
Oh.
I'll say, into the decision-making process.
Yeah, or at least into some kind of feedback committee or anything like that that you guys have available.
Yeah.
Just so that we can kind of work with our own, kind of, not just the council.
It should be right on top,
The people that we representing, try to get their input.
like right on the front page when you get on.
Yes,
They'll
absolutely.
have today's meeting and then you hit that, they'll go to the
I
agenda.
should have been in touch earlier, on this one, so definitely noted.
One last question for me is, how hard is it to redo everything and put it back to normal? If we start going crazy over here, next thing, we have, we all get here, anyway, how hard is it to put it all
I
back?
don't think it's changing as much as it's,
Well,
it's
it's
not
not-
changing that much. Like, it's all peak hours. It's not really, this doesn't seem like it's going to be as big of a change as.
I'll find out.
It sounds like it's.
I'm gonna put you on hold for a minute though.
Safety, like, there's too many accidents when people are trying to turn on far lanes, so.
It's only gonna be for non-peak versus peak hours, that means it's only.
Okay,
gonna go to
8,
the whole entire street.
1,
Like,
3,
you can still just drive it.
107
Times change, people are required.
93 5493.
You're right.
Did you guys get that?
Okay, Danny?
I just wanted to echo Tammy's comment that Mission Zero's goal of the goal of this project is
Go to chnc.org. You'll see that tonight's meeting hit that,
at times when we're
and then
trying to
the
get
agenda comes
the
up.
city's attention for
Scroll
street
down
light
to
repairs, trying to get the city's attention for spotlight repairs. We're getting the city's attention now, we're getting money and resources, and I just think, let's go in with a positive outlook and remember that less people are gonna be injured or dying because of these improvements, and, keep that in mind.
Okay, go to chnc.org. Look at the meeting. It says meeting tonight. Hit it. The agenda will come up. And then you scroll down. There's a link.
Because that could also have been part of your presentation to us and
Thank you.
introducing the project, and then we would have been able to have a productive, workshop and come to the same, maybe the same conclusion you already came to, but it's just really important to get people involved, especially
I'm gonna give you all, sure, mine's real quick. Mine's real quick, and I'm gonna give you a break on Scientology for a brief minute for my other passion, ADA issues. Okay, Hollywood and Highland is the scariest place for someone in a chair to traverse. I know you can't tell, I'm in a chair. I literally, the battery in my chair disconnected trying to cross there. And yes, I was in the lane of traffic, and yes, traffic had to stop. Thank God they stopped for me. Could have been tragic. Thank God I had someone with me to reconnect it. But it is inexcusable how bad these streets are. I mean, it's everywhere in this city. It's not just here, but I want to bring that to you. You're talking about Hollywood and Highland. It is inexcusable how ADA non-compliant and how bumpy and how horrible that corner is. And is there any plan to fix that during all this, whatever it is that you're doing?
Can I jump in and respond? Yeah, please. Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. ADA concerns are very important. We're not upgrading it at this time because we're not touching the Hollywood and Highland intersection with this project. But I know that Council District 13 has a plan for Hollywood Boulevard within that area. And so when they get to doing that project, implementing that, they'll have to upgrade the curb ramps as part of that. So it will be coming.
It's the whole street, not just the curb ramps, so. Thank you.
Yeah, quick comment about infrastructure. Just want to point out that last month, we paid out $21 million settlement because of a light falling on somebody's head. It's $21 million that could have went towards infrastructure. We need to take care of it now because in the end, I'm going to tell you right now, I can walk up here on Ivar, just south of Hollywood Boulevard. There's an electrical box that's wide open. It's been that way I've been documenting it for 2 years. Talking about call 311. I've been calling 311 for 2 years. It's right outside of a club and right outside of a parking garage. Somebody drunk's gonna walk over there, step in it and break an ankle. So my thing is, these are quick fixes, things that we can fix. We can dedicate money for it now. That will allow us to avoid these lawsuits and, save us in the end. So that's a comment on that.
Any other comments? Online, yes. Emmanuel?
No, it will come out of the use.
Emmanuel, do you have a comment on this LEDOT?
I do.
Please take up to 1 minute.
Okay, 1 minute, all right. My name is Emmanuel. Pronouns he, him, his. I'm a renter. I also live in the Hollywood Arts Collective building that was built, people moved in last year. I was one of them. My family moved in, and I rely on the parking that was provided here, and I was bummed, and I have a toddler. I was bummed to hear that I have to pay, next month, start paying for parking. So I hope that the DOT really considers when they're pricing families,
10 seconds.
how much they can actually pay. I really appreciate to take us into consideration, residents who have families and are disabled, and our ability to pay matters.
Thank you. We'll have public comment on this. Next comments? Sunshine B, dot 14.
Hi.
Hi. Hi, Sunshine.
It's a sunshine thing. Okay, well, I'm actually also an artist living at the Hollywood Arts Collective. When we were told about this opportunity to live as artists in Hollywood where we were told that it was an agreement with the LEDOT. So I would also like to make sure we get an email to forward our concerns. It's not just like the cost. It's not just that we won't have access to the garage anymore. It's not as safe place, considering what's going on in this hotel cielo next door. And the mail theft last week was a USPS, masters used to break into mailboxes. My household was a victim of fraud that we are just now trying to recover from as well. So, yeah, LADOT will have a small office in our garage, and we really need that to be looked at to be healthy artists contributing to the city.
Thanks.
William Newry killed his own son.
Any other public comment for Division Zero?
It's a Scientologist right there. Seriously.
All right, I don't think there's any other public comments. I think we can say thank you to.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, do you want to say something? Any final thoughts?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, because I saw there was a lot of people that had concern related to parking that was unrelated to Vision Zero and my project. So actually, I would suggest you contact the general LADOT email address, which is ladot@lacity.org. So that'll help funnel it a little bit better. Please be in touch, you reach out with your concerns.
Thank you for being here.
Thanks for stopping by.
Okay, so that concludes government representatives and our presentation from LADOT. I mean, we're just gonna do public comment. We really gotta get to 1 minute a pop, just because we have all these people in the room for NPGs today, and I apologize, but we're almost there. Okay, so starting with the folks in the room, if anyone is here on a public comment that is not agendized, you have up to 1 minute. Would you like to go first, second, third? Yes.
Yes, I want to obviously talk about Scientology, and because you have one right here in your lovely community, and they want to reopen. And I just want to keep reiterating that they have a very cozy relationship with LAPD. They are often on their CPABs. They ingrain themselves within the community. And just on Saturday, another division held an event in the parking lot that's owned by Scientology. And when asked the detective, what's going on, they're like, oh, we have no association with Scientology. We're just using their property. And I'm like, well, how do they know you need it? First of all, because they're on their CPAB. And then but he did say a lot of people are complaining about it. They're not happy that this LAPD event is happening on Scientology soil. And I am sure that's going on in your community as well, because they offer their buildings. Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to point out, once again, we have a $300 million deficit in the city right now. $300 million deficit. Last year, these guys over here at the police department, they went $100 million over their budget. It's part of the reason why we have the deficit. Another reason why we have the deficit, $50 million towards LAPD litigation, lawsuits against the LAPD. We have 37 people in the LAC attorney's office that are dedicated to only litigating LAPD lawsuits. All right, it's a ton of money. Now, they're going to get another $150 million in this budget, and we are going to cut homelessness, outreach, and initiatives, and housing by $425 million. Does that make any sense? You guys walk outside, and you see the issues with homelessness right now, and garbage on the ground, and all these other needs. They get half of our discretionary budget, we're giving them more money, and we're defunding the city because we are overfunding the LAPD.
Thank you. My name's Jonathan Martin. I'm with Lake 911 Fire Corps. We're a nonprofit in Los Angeles. Just here to introduce ourselves today to the community on the board, offer ourselves as a resource. We do a lot of work in disaster prevention and rehabilitation, especially when it comes to flooding and wildfires, which are two of Los Angeles' largest disasters we face. We work with LAPD partners. The resource I'd like to talk about today, we mentioned the Citizen app, not always most accurate, very social media.
Thank you.
We have an app that connects with LAPD's 911 dispatch system, so only incidents from their dispatch are entered into it. At the same time, the fire department's getting routed out to it. LAIT 911 on the App Store, completely free, good resource to have to keep you safe, all in real time, and you know about it. Basically, the second firefighters know about it. Thank you.
Thanks, Jonathan. And I'll tack on to what Jonathan said, because I can't, well, okay, could I make my own comment?
That's the end of our agenda.
Okay, cool.
Board comments, just from the, right,
That's easy.
Um,
Jonathan said.
Any other, public comments? Anyone online? Okay, we have 2 minutes online, Daniel?
Yeah, I know.
So we can go Lauren, and then college student audit.
Your mom's trying to get it.
I
I don't know.
There's like a meeting ID or something.
Hi, Lauren, can you hear us?
Yes, hi, thank you so much. This is for Officer White. I want to know how I can get in touch with him so he can perform at an event for an adult swingers party in Hollywood. I'd love to connect with him. I don't know if I need to email his LAPD email, but I'd like to get in touch with him.
No response, comments?
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy, email address. I'll probably let that
Thanks for your comment, Lauren. Next up is college student audits. So 1 minute. Hello? Going once.
They're muted, I think.
College student audit, you're muted.
Come on, college student, you can do it.
Well, I want to make a comment about Scientology and LAPD.
Okay, you have 1 minute, please.
LAPD wastes money with having peace officers sitting around doing nothing, running the unit. And I think LAPD should have the peace officers use money better and stop wasting money and stop defending Scientology.
That was good, what about?
Good job.
Okay, that
Keep the
concludes,
job.
public comment. Thank you. And we will go into, tweet Let's do it. All right, this is the, committee's report, budget and finance. We're gonna go down the line if you're following your agenda item. This is gonna, first up, the 2024 Los Angeles Congress of Neighborhoods. Anybody here from that? Okay.
Thank you guys for being with us.
Food Coalition for Hygiene Kits. I do have to recuse myself for this one, so Vice President, Daniel Perez is going to take over. Please let me know when I come back.
I think we have to catch up today.
Thank you.
Would you like to take the invisible podium?
Can I stand over here?
Sure, sure. Thank you. So I'd like to move that the CHMC approve the $1,000 MPG to the Hollywood Food Coalition for hygiene kits, water, and food distribution. Is there a second? Let's invite our presenters. Would you just introduce yourself and then maybe 2 or 3 minutes of the presenters?
Yeah, definitely. My name is Mary Venderly. I'm with Hollywood Food Coalition. I'm the Community Wellness Program Manager. And if you're not familiar, we serve food every night. We have since 1987. And I'm on site 3 nights a week engaging with our guests. Right now, we have UCLA mobile clinics there every Wednesday night. We have a barber on site. We have Bicycle Kitchen repairing bikes. So right now, we would like funds to help with our wellness program, and that would be, we asked guests what was most needed, and they mentioned toothbrushes, and then we would also like water bottles reusable, BPA free, so there's not a lot of water waste, because we pass those out a lot. And yeah.
Fantastic, thank you. So let's start with board comment questions, and then we'll have public comment, any comments or questions from the board.
Well, since I've been a member, I've heard a lot about Hollywood Food Coalition, so I just want to say thank you for what you've done, and just thank you for continuing. Thank you.
All right, let's turn to public comment. Is there anyone in the room who would like to make a public comment on the motion to support Hollywood Food Coalition with $1,000? How about online? Do you have anyone who would like to make a comment on the motion for up to 1 minute? I believe Serge Delmar, user Serge Delmar. You have the floor for up to 1 minute, Serge.
Thank you, guys.
I
appreciate you.
Going once. something. User search Del Mar, are you able to make public comment? Oh, they're gone. Okay. make
He's a survivor of Scientology, so he may have missed the public comment because he's one of the victims who, yes.
If they come back, they can make a public.
Thank you.
That is.
Sorry, guys. I wanted to tell Serge to call back, and they said they would let him talk. I'm sorry.
You can see it when you're driving south on Vine or north on Vine. That was a project done in 2009.
I hope you can see this.
With the vice principal, Cheryl Feldman, who may be on Zoom or not. Per her, she requested the Hollywood Arts Council, the organization, to make it happen. We did, it was a huge community event, with the artist Yoriko Itu. Forgive me if I am butchering that. But this was done, it was a huge ordeal at the time. Tragically, there are only like 2 people left that know of this, and the vice principal actually requested that the plaque be made and installed on the mosaic mural so that future generations and all these kids walking through the halls know this. So we are respectfully.
Is he the guy that confronted the streets?
Educate and further the cause for both the school and the Hollywood Arts Council. Yes.
What is the mural?
So it is a mosaic mural that's done with tile work. It is more, so it's not a specific like scenescape. It's abstract. Yeah, but lots of color. I didn't realize that it was even our project as the chair of the organization until it was brought forward with the school. But you can see it from mine, so it's definitely a great project.
Which school?
Vine Elementary.
Everybody has some talent, right? Everybody has some talent.
That's what we're talking about. Yes, so it's more that style.
It's yeah, cool.
Somebody said something to streets, but I couldn't really hear it. I think they were telling them to like be quiet or something. I'm not sure. But I'm not sure it's this guy, so I shouldn't say.
There's gonna be a plaque wherever the school decides to put it, but like detailing the artist, who was involved, what year, because it was to commemorate the 100 years of the school. Yes.
I know it's all about the school and the artists.
Yes.
Will the plaque say anything that it was funded by the Central Holiday?
Happily, of course, yeah. The plaque has not been made yet, so.
I think.
It's likely on the agenda.
Absolutely. I
Just
think,
because we're trying to make sure people are aware of the community council.
I feel like it's in the paperwork that it will be, but yeah, I will make the note that that has to happen.
You know, the real.
Someone can tell him that he's speaking.
And I'll be in his headshot.
We just said no, it's gonna be a picture, I almost said me.
So, thank you.
All right, cool. So, is there a motion then?
We made the motion. It was seconded.
And someone tell streets if he wants to come back that he is up talking.
Public comment?
He can make
Comments?
public comment.
Black? Anyone online? I see no hands. All right, let's vote. Tom, yes. Yes. Sunshine?
Let's do it.
I vote yes.
It's a yes!
Thank you all.
So,
Correct.
Hollywood Fringe, come on down. Hello. It's Hollywood Fringe, you feel like you have to go there. Hi, thank you to the board for hearing our proposal and the community just feels taken out. That's right. Right? To support the Hollywood Fringe.
Opportunity to create the opportunity for the independent artists so that they can self-advocate and have careers all on their own, have even floodgates be wide open. So we produce about 400 shows and 2,000 performances every June here right in Hollywood. The majority of our venues and our shows are all central to Hollywood. So the Broadwater, the Hudson, our Backroom Studio, LA LGBT Center, all of those thousands of shows right here. And our festival, we really create.
Find out his name.
We create access to theater, quite frankly. Theater is expensive, the arts are expensive. The average ticket price for our festival is $12 to $15, which is, I'll be honest, I can afford. And it's not something I can afford at the Pantages or some of these larger entities.
housing performance book is for hand paid weekend. So we are asking home report lobbies to make that known. I think it's getting missed. I live a block and a half away, and my own neighbors don't know about it. So making sure that our neighbors know about our festival.
We'll put a newsletter too.
Yeah, no, please, and we'd love to like come and take one of our events. We really smile. Neighbors have access to theater because quality of life matters.
So would this will go towards tickets, you said?
No, it would go toward advertising and
Advertising.
community outreach, making sure we're
What's
reaching
y'all's
out.
website?
Sorry.
What's y'all's website?
HollyFringe.org.
Is anyone from the agency in the paper guide? The only reason I asked if this goes with tickets, because I was like, I wonder if like this ticket was brought to you by some Holly Neighbor Council or something like that.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to be.
But we can put your logo in our guide and tickets certainly, but like the idea is we'd love to, like a lot of, get our guides out, because again, it's so affordable, but our street tickets, our guides going to Central Hollywood, full signs going to Central Hollywood, and then additionally to the flyer that links to the
I honestly I don't know, but it's on. It will be on the agenda. He did the empathy request for art.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Classy and above. Yes, that's fabulous. 14 years, this is the first time you come to this.
I know, actually, my name is I took over during the pandemic, so we actually are fresh blood to the festival. I've been with the board for 10 years, but we just.
He had no authority to say that.
So we're just now getting out into the world again.
Yeah, well, you know about us now, so we're always happy to support the arts, right? Some people live in the arts building, so yeah, we agree with art. Any questions from the board? Any questions from the world? Online world? Yes, one question from Scotty. Hi, Scotty. You have a minute.
Hello? We can hear you, Scotty. You have up to a minute to make a comment.
Hello?
Hi.
Hi. Well,
Yes, we're listening to you.
I think we should just make homelessness illegal and give them all free homes.
It's off topic, so, we're actually
And-
Thank you.
Now, fuck you guys, bitch ass boys.
Cut. You know, they say in movie business, right? Cut. Yeah. Use that take. All right, so, any other on-topic comments or questions? Yeah.
We do have shares about the in-house situation coming from lived experience, so.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, check it out on the fridge.
So let's vote?
Cool, we're gonna vote. Camera, Crystal? Yeah. You have time? Yes.
Yes.
Daniel? Voting?
Yes.
So yes. Okay, that's yes on all. Thank you so much. Yes, sir, we do. The Hollywood Police Activities League. Familiar?
Sorry,
Oh,
lost Georgia.
wait, before you smile, I'd like to make a motion to support you.
Thank you.
AKA the Hollywood Police Activities League. Yes, thank you, Tamara and Crystal. For the record. All right, Crystal.
All right, I'm Rich Sarin, I'm a board member with the Hollywood Police Activities League. I believe it was Officer Wright's announcement, the car show is Sunday, please join us. We had to shut off like entries for cars because there were so many this year. It's gonna be on Hollywood Boulevard from from Vine to Gower. Big, wonderful day. Anyway, speaking to the tutoring that we do for the children in the Police Activities League program, we are asking for support in the amount of $1,000, which will be Zoom and software licensing to provide additional tools. This tutoring program that we provide serves over 200 local youth of the neighborhood area, of those that attend elementary schools here. It is just an amazing, incredible thing that we started doing during COVID and has actually translated into post-COVID times, and it has been very successful. And those $1,000 would go a very long way with us being able to use Zoom and software to even build, more attendees, if you will. So request that.
I'm still confused who the celebrity judges are.
So a little birdie told me that it will be RD, who is a automobile personality,
Okay.
as well as Shaquille O'Neal's son.
Okay, so,
So-
not Shaquille O'Neal, right there, cool.
Right.
So,
Yeah. Yes, it's letters, yes. Thank you.
So you got RD and DJ.
RJ and EJ. There are a ton of influencers that'll be there hopping around. We also, this is our 3rd annual car show, and we're, until we get Jay and Leno. as the
Yeah,
celebrity
Jay Leno
host or
was the
something.
one.
But yeah, it's not, still a work in progress, but this year is already a huge success and it hasn't even started. So, looking forward
Well,
to
that was the
seeing
big
all
announcement
that.
I was waiting for.
I know, sorry, yes.
Do you guys know that Zoom actually has a nonprofit?
I'm sure that they do, so I don't do the logistic part of that. Our executive director definitely handles all of that, and I know she knows that.
Is that
because she's
Kitty?
very- Yeah, it's Kitty. She's really good at that, but I will definitely let her know if she doesn't already. But it's mostly for the software elements, coordinating all the kids and like that kind of stuff. So it's not just the Zoom part. Yes.
Can you just let the stakeholders know where they can sign up if they want to get into the tutoring?
I do not have that. I will look into it and get it to you, and I also have my information.
Can you guys tell Street to watch me? Just like, why? Because he can't. He's streaming.
Great. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And we love having people drop in to tutor as well. If you are a specialist in any field, these kids love to learn. We are taking tutors as well. So I will get that information to you to let us know. I don't have it right now. My apologies.
Awesome. Any questions from the board? I have the one asked. Any questions, please?
Under what authority did you tell a public person of the public that they either need to be quiet or leave? I'm just curious what authority you had for that. Second of all, well, it's not. Second of all, I just want to talk about police, your activity league. How many Scientologists are on your PAL as opposed to others, but how many specifically on yours? And second of all, I don't support it because you already heard how much how much the budget for LAPD is. And PALS is just, it gives more money to LAPD, but it's through, the 501c3 type route. And it's just a backdoor way of funding LAPD more than what they're already getting. And so I don't support that, but I'll just leave it at that.
Any comments? On one line, yes. Abel.
I could unmute them.
But they won't be on this. Hi, Abel.
I think we should legalize making gay porn in the streets and on the bus.
Woohoo!
God.
Okay.
Oh,
yes, sir.
The car show on Sunday, what
Yes.
time does it start, what time does it end?
I can get that information to you in 10 seconds. I don't know my cell phone. It's during the day. I think it starts. Do you know? It starts at 10. I don't know what time it's over. I would say 10 to 2 to be safe, but yeah.
I went last year, it was so much fun.
It's a great time.
We have a pink
The
Corvette.
street can be closed off so you
Yes,
can walk.
yes. So the whole entire street is closed and cars are parked on Hollywood Boulevard. So
Is it free?
it is free. Absolutely.
Free on the streets and there's like,
It's a good time.
yeah, it's a good time. Okay, no other questions, so we're gonna vote. I see nothing online either. Okay, so we're gonna go online. Yes. Yes.
I'm going to pass the vote.
Abstaining, abstaining, okay, okay. Yes?
Yes.
Okay, Daniel?
Yeah, I'll vote no.
And then, I'm voting no just because I don't quite understand what
The money is going towards tutoring the children in the Hollywood Police Activities League program. We provide programs through sports. Okay.
I mean, like the actual.
Sorry,
Memory.
We're done.
I can't do comment.
Okay.
Oh, that's okay, she wants to change the script.
I was instead of saying, I would say no.
My thing is, they're gonna be comment on it. We're done with the commentary, so it's just a vote.
So.
Sunshine, are you abstaining or not?
I'll abstain, but I hope you know if it means yes.
So, yes, to be clear, if you you state,
It's gonna be,
according to our bylaws, that's yes.
then I will know.
Okay.
No, corners.
What was it? I'm sorry, what was the count? So we have 8 present.
We have 8 present.
4 no, 3 yeses, 1 absent.
Okay, so motion fails.
Thank you, board.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah, you have to
It's
vote
not.
yes. Oh, wait, it's
4-4?
1, 2.
It didn't
Wait, what did Tamara say?
Yeah,
So it's 4. It's
So it's 4 to 4.
Then it's not agreed upon.
Okay,
Yeah.
bylaws say
See, then
it
you
has
still
to
have
be
a majority.
majority.
A simple majority of a 4
So if I would have been, so if I would have said abstain, then it would have went through.
That's
Yes.
That's what.
That's that.
So thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you, Cody.
Okay.
Guys did good.
Last but not least, Sela. Welcome to
No, I don't have to, I don't have to.
I'm getting proud of this board. That was awesome.
Copied on the correspondence. I am an organizer with SELA and this, and especially the Hollywood, SELA, where what the entity that they are requesting are going to, out, and the city attorney said that I'm not receiving any remuneration from SELA, so I do not have to recuse myself. Thank you, Tamara, for doing that.
Rules.
I'm gonna make a motion, motion to approve $1,000 MPG to Sela Neighborhood Homeless Coalition to support the purchase of food, clothing, and hygiene items for our unhoused neighbors. Hello.
Second.
Hello, thank you so much. Would you introduce yourselves?
Yeah, so my name is Sarah Reyes. I'm the executive director of Sela Neighborhood Homeless Coalition. For those who don't know, we were founded in 2017. We're a grassroots volunteer-powered organization that does outreach to our unhoused neighbors, specifically through relationship building and material aid. In September of 2023, we launched our Hollywood program at the center, filling a weekend service gap that was in the area. And Brian here is our program director for said program, is going to tell you a little bit about it.
Hi, I'm Brian Cohan. So we started operating on the first and third Sunday of every month at the center in Hollywood. We've done it 14 times now since September. We've got an outreach team that goes out, visits encampments, they bring supplies, lunches, hygiene kits, and we get folks come through the door and we run sort of a coffee program like they do during the week. So we're providing a continuity there on the weekend when nobody's operating. We've served about 1,800 people in those 14 Sundays so far. We've had about 560 volunteer hours available to do that. And so we're coming today to ask for a little bit of material aid to pay for those hygiene kits, tents, blankets, tarps, the general basic necessities to survive on the streets. But it's much more than material aid because that really enables our relationship building. Like we see a lot of new people every week. And we've got volunteers, some of whom have never done this before, and we really need that material aid kind of as an icebreaker to let people know we come in peace, we're here to help. So, the material aid really helps, the folks on the street, but it also just helps us do what we do, so it really enables the whole program. So, I know we were agendized for 1K, but I think we asked for 2, so if anyone wants to amend that motion.
We're doing only one. Yeah, we're doing 1K per MPG to support more nonprofits.
Yeah, okay, gotcha.
But you can come back for
Yeah,
other different.
I'll just add that, SELA across the organ, we provide members of Hollywood, people who live in Hollywood, house Angelinos, a constructive way to help with this issue, and we've had volunteers come in and figure out how to work with the Social Security Administration, get birth certificates, that kind of thing. We're doing more than just a meal service. We're really getting to know folks, helping them through their journey, and we've even had volunteers through this work develop a passion for it, switch careers, so people actually went into professional service work, working for Metro, that kind of thing. So
That's going to be something in the newsletter we should put out, like volunteers.
oh yeah, absolutely.
Maybe you can send us the language.
Yeah. We'll follow up with you. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, anything else to add, or should we open to questions?
Yeah, I have a quick question. For the clothing portion, do you guys accept donations?
We do.
Yeah, we don't purchase clothing.
Oh, gently used or like it has to be branded?
Anything, the language we use is nothing, or anything that you would give to a loved one.
someone you actually liked. Like, the only thing we purchased new is underwear and socks. Of course. And everything else we did.
And please wash it.
Please watch it, yeah.
Do we bring it to the center at any point, or is there a donation?
If you would bring it to us, when we start our program on Sundays, we'll accept it at the door, and we have folks who'll sort it there.
And what time frame?
So we start at, if you show up anytime between 12:30 and 1, that's before our program starts, but we're there. That would be a good time to drop it off.
You see 12:30 and 1.
And what's the location one more time?
So it's at the center, whose address is.
6636 Highland Avenue.
Okay, so any questions, other questions?
The program runs till 4 on Sundays.
But you can only drop off.
Oh, you can come anytime between then, but if you wanna come there when it's not super busy, that would help us.
Drop-offs are easier.
666. Perfect. And then you follow the language. Okay, any other board questions? Yes.
I'm impressed with this board for listening to the people and what they want. And I am saying, since the homeless initiatives they're going to be losing a lot of money due to this massive increase in LAPD budget. I think it's shameful that LAPD is here in the back door trying to get even more money. Please support every and all homeless initiatives. They need it. They're going to be losing a lot of money. And I just thank you. I'm really impressed with this board tonight. Like, really, thank you.
Community member in Hollywood, and their work is just amazing, and staunch supporter of them and all they're doing, so any funding possible, please.
And congratulations on the executive board position, right?
A new executive director, yes.
Congratulations.
My boss is right there, so just say.
Wait, Louis should know. Oh, I was like, Louis the coolest boss ever.
Hail them dirty homeless niggers.
Okay.
What? Oh my God.
It's another comment.
As soon as we hear those comments, we can just.
The seal is of the.
Congratulations.
Okay. Let's do planning and land use. Who's here for plum? Please say somebody. Nobody's here for plum? No, plum, planning. It's 6566 on the boulevard.
6506.
Yeah.
6506.
Yeah, you're the plum item.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was not aware of that. I know that I was here for leases, but I wasn't here for plum.
Plum stands for planning land use.
Yeah.
So that you're here for planning.
Yes, I
Yes,
am.
and you, the representative I was speaking to, which you on there too?
You're talking to Dad.
Yvette?
And I'm like.
And you said you needed.
No, it was somebody, some troll's been calling in all night.
Sorry.
Yeah, so go on to that.
You have to make a motion first, it has to be seconded, and then we can hear from you.
For the, let's have over here, motion to write a letter of support for the following project.
So I'll restaurant entertainment facility, much like Main Road, up the street from us. So we'll be doing music, we'll be doing live entertainment, we'll be having food going on. We have a different mezzanine area, we'll be doing tea parties, and we have the outside restaurant, which is open to the front, to the street. And you'll see I'm sure you recognize the taco truck that's on Hollywood Water. That's what it was Penny Tacos, now it's Bucky and Hollywood. So what we're looking for is a letter of support to let them know that we plan on running a very clean, very well-established, and very unique Hollywood experience. So that people are coming to Hollywood to enjoy a show like it used to be. And that's what we're trying to achieve. So your support is very much needed so that we can take it to the city and get that information out for our liquor license and our CUP.
And wasn't that somewhere else before?
Yes, we have Club Bahia on Sunset, Bahia nightclub on Sunset, and currently there, it's 11:30
Oh, it's still there?
Still
Oh, I
there.
thought you moved, but you actually.
Not yet.
Yeah.
This is our 50th year.
Lighthouse is right next to Joe's Pizza.
Oh, okay, sweet.
Yeah.
Get some late
That's the what? It used to be a club, now it's isn't your theme like, line dancing?
Oh, and yeah, our.
Did I get that wrong?
No, that's we're actually a Latin nightclub.
Latin nightclub,
We
yes.
do Latin performance, DJs, music and such. But on Monday and Thursday nights, we do Southern Country line dancing, which I'm
Yeah.
supposed to be there right now, but this was.
You can line dance here.
Wow. You're missing line dance?
I'm missing
You're
line
line
dance.
For this?
Yeah.
Wow.
This was much more
That's so
formal.
harsh.
I think you come to one of our neighborhood council meetings and I just briefly met you
I
towards the
did,
end.
several months back.
Yes, many months back.
And I
You said
invited
you
you to
were
the line dancing.
Oh, you did invite me to like that. You know, I'm not that choreographed. I felt like you would laugh at me and I could never see
No, there's so many people dancing there, like tonight there probably got 250 people dancing.
In line.
You're gonna be right in the middle.
I have a question, so is the music outdoors or indoors? Is all indoors?
All indoors.
Happy to do it, guys. Thank you for being with me.
We're looking at doing it.
And thank you for the gifts. I really appreciate that. That means a lot.
Tonight, the latest right now. And we want to test it and make sure everything's going good, that we're an actual good fit in the community. And then we'll come back again for the CUP and see if we can extend it to 2 AM.
And the music will go till midnight, weeknights, and
No, it'll,
only on weekends.
only on the weekends, only on, House Thursday, Friday, Saturday. The line dancing ends at, midnight, but we're probably not gonna do that, we'll probably be doing other shows, over in Hollywood.
And when you say shows, is it like the Fringe Festival kind of shows? Is that something they could use potentially?
Actually, I was gonna talk to her in a minute about that, to find out what, she had going on.
Glad she didn't leave early.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
Yes.
You mentioned Main Road, which is really fun and nice, but it is very expensive, like a little higher, you know, on the pricing side. Is your establishment gonna be similar as far as pricing, or gonna be a little more affordable?
Well, it's hard to say, it depends on the meal that you get. We're gonna have stuff that's more affordable, but we also will have high-end meals as well.
Okay, but is it gonna be like a minimum, because Main Road does everything where it's like, you have to spend like, it's like $1,200 for a table concert, like it's a whole, it's a lot that goes.
They
with it, you know,
do,
but-
yeah, we had dinner there one night, and it cost us about $400, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're not gonna do a minimum on things. You come in, you enjoy a meal, you enjoy a show, and you have a great time, you tell your friends, and you come back again later.
Have you guys had any liquor license violations in the past?
Me, no.
Or just at this particular venue?
At this point, no, we don't have a liquor license there yet, that's what we're vying for.
Oh,
Now,
It's a renewal, it's a renewal from the previous owners.
Right, right. Playhouse had had violations.
Okay.
Okay, and that was something completely different from who we are. We're trying to change that over. I'm sure Officer White can actually attest to everything that's going on there.
So this is a new conditional use permit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The old place is gone.
Yeah, and we said, if you've ever been inside there, it's like a big giant dark flat room, black booze, black ceiling, black everything. We just tore the floor out, we tore everything out, and redid everything so it's much brighter, more inviting. We're looking at doing quinceañeras and weddings receptions inside there. So it's gonna be.
What about the other businesses that you guys have on the boulevard? Have you guys had previous violations?
Which, on Sunset?
Yeah, or, anywhere in the area?
Not in Hollywood, no, this is our first location in Hollywood. On Sunset, we've been there since 1974, we've had a liquor license since then, no violations. 1130 West Sunset Boulevard, or 1130 Sunset Boulevard, keep it at the west, never get confused.
Is that what, the new location or?
This the old one.
That's the old location, the new location is 6506 Hollywood,
Playhouse.
Hollywood and.
it's right up the street.
It's Joe's Pizza, where Kayak Tacos used to be.
So like Hollywood and Wilcox?
Wilcox.
It's 7-Eleven's on the corner.
Yes.
With the classical music.
But they're not playing the classical music, the ownership changed.
Thank goodness. That was a little weird.
Yeah.
Eating my pizza listening to classical music like that.
Yeah, the ownership changed, they're not playing the music anymore.
That's a good choice.
Not like that. And then, as far as parking goes, is it street parking?
There is some street parking, but we'll have valet parking. We've already made arrangements with the parking lot, across the street on, Wilcox and, Coenga right there, there's a huge parking lot. So we made arrangements with them for parking, and also behind us, there's 2 other parking lots, and, to the left side, there's another parking lot. So there's a lot of different large parking lots in the area.
So how long did you lease the building for?
5 years.
Only 5 years, but you've done so much work to it.
I know. We have, 2 5-year extensions on that.
Okay, so you go up to 15 and
Yeah.
if all goes well.
Yeah.
Yeah, cause the work and the renewal, cause the renewal will give you you have to renew every how long? Every how long do you renew the liquor license?
The liquor license, well, you renew your liquor license every year.
Every year, okay,
Yeah.
so you have to come back 5 times.
Every time you notice, you just, you buy your liquor license, and every year you get notice, you just pay your fee, and,
And it's renews.
it just renews.
Okay, so you only come to us once then, for the
Yes.
initial one.
Yeah,
But
that's
you
good.
could come every time.
Yes.
Now, the conditional use permit, I believe renews every 5 years.
I see.
So then we have to come back, and it all depends how we are don't expect to be in good standing, so once it goes through, the city's gonna come out and say, okay, you can redo this, fill this form out, and, as long as, LAPD doesn't have any complaints on us, it's gonna be easy.
Cool.
And I say, we've been doing it for 50 years on Sunset.
Yeah. Yeah, the Flix Bus used to be a alternative building, so I remember the Cowboys.
Yeah.
So before they moved the location. Cool, miss. Any other questions before we go? Or, comment? Yes, yes.
I just want you guys to be careful. There's another restaurant, not in your council district, but they are like egregiously violating their CUPs. And that is where one of the victims of Danny Masterson was, date pilled. And the LAPD doesn't do anything for the CUPs. The city doesn't do anything to enforce CUPs. So if, I'm not saying this is a bad place. I'm not saying that at all. I just want you guys to be aware that when you are looking at liquor licenses, do not expect the city or LAPD to help you if you're having issues with CUP violations. That's just an FYI. So really be careful.
May I respond to that? On Sunset, our Sunset location, again, we've been there for 50 years. I've had a very good relationship with the LAPD, Rampart Division, and Vice. So in that time, we don't have any, we don't have a rap sheet on us. You call, anybody can background check me and see if there's anything on it at all.
Yeah, does that other restaurant?
Yes,
Sorry.
it's the other location, yes. And we're trying to run with the same integrity over here as we are over there.
Yes, sir.
So just, if this helps ease the board a little bit, the previous operator at the Playhouse, they're gone because of initiation from LAPD due to investigations, primarily, especially related to the violent crime and major liquor license violations. So it is something that we do work on, and it is something that ultimately all these operators do have a hell of a hands.
Yeah, I do recall like long lines. They never quite understood how to queue up at the Playhouse, and then I do remember like constantly on the board.
There was a lot of interaction with the board with this,
Yes.
and giving your support and working with the community. Ultimately, it really comes down to the communities. In a lot of ways, the community's input is huge. It isn't just once it's there doesn't mean it can't be taken away if you get a type of, bad operator.
Exactly.
I'm just a little bit concerned about the sound in that area because we've already had a lot of reports with all the hookah and all of the clubs in that area because they started building residential.
Yeah, they built the building right behind it.
Yeah, yeah.
And that building, realistically, getting put in the arts just really shouldn't have been there, but it is. So we just gotta make sure we still feel in compliance with it. If you go inside the building right now, we actually have a lot of things all set up. But right in the center of the theater area, we put a decibel meter. So right now, we can to monitor the sound quality to maintain a certain decibel levels to keep it within a reason.
So what decibel level would you like keep it at, like say 11 o'clock at night? Because there's children not looking out.
Normally on a decibel meter, what we do is we try and keep it around 100 decibels on the inside. So on the outside, that probably drops down to like 80, 85. More like our volume talking right now is about 70. So, and all the speakers that we actually have facing towards the inside of the building, nothing towards the back wall. It's a block wall in the back. So it should contain the sound really well. And we've tested it, and it was actually really, really nice. And the other thing too is the secret of sound is a lot of times people will put speakers inside and blast them as loud as they can, and that's really damaging to people's ears, and it makes it very uncomfortable for shows. When you distribute the sound evenly, you don't have to raise the volume as much because people can actually hear it everywhere and get a full tune of sound. So yeah, we've trained my sound engineer already, and we installed the speakers, and he balanced the room, so we should be very much in compliance.
That's why the Disney Town Hall is shaped in such a way, right?
Yes.
Because it moves the sound. It doesn't have to be loud.
No, it doesn't.
Okay, so I have a comment, maybe request, or for whatever you call this. Can we ask for a commitment to sensitivity when it comes to regards to neighbors who are listening, who may be affected by the new sound availability? Just in the sense of like saying like, hey, if the board sends a letter that says, hey, on Thursdays you guys are being too loud, or whatever night of the week, that we get some like response, because there's other operators who are like, screw you.
Yeah, I exactly what you're talking about and, what's going on there. And they have all their system outside in a patio, a tent.
Right.
If you will, and that, because they're not having the hookah inside. Everything is outside in the back, and they do blast those speakers really good.
So there's that,
You guys
the
are gonna
question
be
is,
competing with them.
No, we're not gonna, on the inside, we might be competing with them, but on the outside, we're barely gonna make it work.
so the request is a sensitivity to the board if we say, hey, guys,
Check out the volume, we control the volume, yes,
Yeah.
we will definitely respond accordingly. And, we'll be taking logs as well, on our sound volume. Also, each night, if it does get a little bit loud, we'll know what the decibels were.
that's pretty reasonable, right? Okay.
I just wanna say, for me, and a lot of people that have moved to Hollywood, I moved here 12 years ago specifically because of, you know, the nightlife, being able to walk around, a lot of stuff like that. So I appreciate that, you know, this is like a club. It's still something where people can, you know, leave their house and walk to, have a good dinner, hear some music and things like that. So just thank you for the 50 years you've already given us, but I really look forward to seeing what this becomes, you know, Hollywood.
I'm looking forward to doing this whole thing, actually. We've got different things planned, a Sunday brunch, we're gonna maybe a Sunday mariachi brunch, or a Sunday gospel brunch, we have to decide.
Do both. I'm like, I show for both.
Every other Sunday. Sunday was-
These guys are on some.
Oh, no, cool beans. Well, any other comments?
Is your entrance all full cost?
No,
Okay.
no, that's the,
Sayers Club.
Sayers Club, yeah.
I just thought they got an eviction notice.
Sayers Club got an eviction notice?
For.
Don't get too happy.
No.
No, I'm happy, I don't hear other businesses have trouble, that's not a good thing, especially in the Hollywood area, because we want to build that.
Yeah, we want to be open.
There was some stuff going on there, and, yeah.
Yeah, they did a lot of work on the inside too.
Yeah, they did, but.
They're on Hollywood Boulevard, like right next to Joe's Pizza, like the next door neighbor, right?
Yeah, it's a Fox Theater,
Yeah.
we recognize Fox Theater, we got a sign right there.
Okay.
And it has the lit marquee on the front.
Yeah.
Is that historic? Is it like on any of the landmark
I
registries?
believe it is, cause it's gotta be over 100 years old.
It's historic to me.
Is that the patio thing? Is the patio museum thing is on there right now, or like advertisements right there?
Yeah, I don't know what advertising is going on, that's actually my landlord's deal.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And, they actually have, different restaurants on there too, so I try to talk to them about that. We'll get it squared away.
Got you. Cool. Any other comments? Okay. Anyone else outside? Yes, sir.
If I can make one more. So what has changed since your project first kind of started is the opening up of the apartments. So a lot of that will be kind of key, where that used to be just basically a parking lot.
Yeah.
And this will kind of, not only the board, but even the neighbors, to make sure their input is, you know, at the public hearing, is to make sure if any conditions are ever, have addressed these kind of issues. So the good news, I think, ultimately, these are historic properties. It's hard to just change the use into something, unless you can fill a big space with something different. So a lot of this is gonna come down to, operator. So, you judge character, you judge past history, that's probably gonna be your best chance of getting something that we can all work with, so.
Yeah, like I said, I definitely want to bring a little upscale event to Hollywood, so that everyone can go to and have a good time. And especially the tea parties.
Yeah, that sounds like it's fun. Okay, great, there's nobody online, so we're gonna, vote. But is anyone opposed? Does anybody abstain? Okay, that means everyone passes. Okay,
Thank you.
so, Shani usually writes them, so, he filled out the form, the link that you sent me?
Yeah, it wasn't until Friday. It's too late.
Yeah, Friday. But it was before the agenda, because it emailed me, and there was that MMP, and they said, they filled out the form, so.
It's too late for me to look at it.
Okay,
Well, just the taco truck is open, so if you want to go for lunch, you can do that too.
nice.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna get
Leaving.
leaving.
Let's look at some Mondays here.
Yeah.
That's fair, you could go
Yeah,
up there.
no, I gotta get over there.
This is basically where I'm gonna go now.
Well, we were gonna say that for last, because we wanted to just make sure our presenters. I think that was it. Did you, oh. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you
Do you want to name it now? You want to do a drink?
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna, big motion. Okay.
Thank you, everyone. everybody. I appreciate you being here.
For the 2024 Los Angeles Congress of Neighborhoods.
You're welcome. See you hopefully next month.
Daniel's gonna talk about it because he's on the board.